welcome. It's been a buzz. There's been a lot happening, a lot of games, a lot of excitement, and now we're in the Zen area where there isn't all this shouting. We don't have just the thrill of this competitive TF2 experience, but it's pretty difficult to escape the excitement. We are looking at another matchup that we're going to be talking about. I'm Wild Rumpus. I am joined by Antlers and Benpl. Yeah, we're looking at Froyotech versus the Balls team up next.
What a name.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, I think, because Froyo on paper is just like the best team in history, but they've been having some trouble against both Witness Gamings. So I don't know. What are your guys' takes on what we might be seeing?
I would say my recent observation of Froyotech is that they seem a little bit discombobulated, right? Am I tracking that properly? For reference, I just did the observation for Froyotech versus Witness Gaming EU. And I mean, they got one round in, right? It wasn't a complete blowout. But at the same time, like, dominance was shown, and
Yeah.
I can't name names, but I saw one team actually pull their entire team to the side to make sure they could have that full roundtable discussion about how that played out and how they might come into this next match with that kind of.
Yeah, we'll leave the viewers to maybe work out who those guys might have been, and I think at the moment we're still waiting for them to get back to their seats and get ready. But yeah, it was one of those games that I don't know really coming into this. Obviously, Witness had high aspirations, right? Were they really expecting to win 5-1 on day one? It was pretty dominant from my take. But Froyo, right? I don't know. They're such a, like we said, they're a storied team. They've been around since forever at this point.
Yeah.
They're so good. So many times before they drop maps on day one, but like, when the playoffs come round, when the pressure amps up, they just find that other level. So, like, I don't know. I still don't want to count them out for, like, a long run. And, like, here against the Bulls team, even despite their, like, flops in the group stage, they've got to be clear favourites.
Yeah. Although, to be honest, if we just compare the matches of the teams they've played together, at least the ones that I've seen on stream, Froyotech did worse against Witness Gaming EU than the Balls team did. They're on different maps, I guess, but same team.
Yeah, it was like 3-1, I think, for the Bulls team, was it? Or was
it was a 5-2, I believe, maybe a 4-2.
Oh, yes, yeah, I was thinking the QMD game. Yeah.
I'd also like to point out here that, I mean, we talk about Froyotech having a long storied history, right? Their core roster at this point is still just Bani Habib from those times, right?
Yeah, true.
Everyone else has changed around them, due to leaving the scene or just getting tired of, being on such a grind all of the time specifically. So they might like play here and there, but not necessarily as much as they used to when they were determined on winning, like they would always try to do with Froyotech. And I think, for years now, Benny has always been able to like find the best new talent in the scene and kind of take them to the anvil and try and, put them to the metal and get good results. And he's been successful, for years now at doing that. So you can never discount that, but it's definitely not the same team.
I think it's worth mentioning as well that of some of those players that weren't down for the, continuous grind, many of them are on balls. I mean, Jae Hyunpei is arguably one of the most talented Froyo alumni, I suppose. High Five is there as well. Artist was, in his debut invite season, upset Froyotech in an era when that wasn't really a thing. Nowadays, it's easier to imagine Froyo losing to a G6 or a team like that. But back when Witness did their first upset against Froyotech in Season 6 of RGL, it was unheard of. And that was Artist's debut season. So they have plenty of talent, right? I guess the question is whether, the talent is there versus Froyo, who are, I'd say, it's a tighter run ship, right? It's Bani is definitely the captain and making sure that everything is going smoothly versus Ball's team seems more of we're playing for this land because we want to be here. It just so happens to be chock full of talent.
They just happen to be really, really good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think this is a real test for Bani though, right? Like I know we said before this group stage has not gone to plan. if they're coming into it and you tell Froyo, oh, would you take 4th place? Absolutely not. Coming out of this is a shock, at least in my book. And I think that this is a real test for Banny as a leader. Obviously, like, he's a very vocal person. He's going to be drilling those players, making sure these problems, these coordination issues you've seen, like players getting picked off, players like just being dropped out of position all the time. It's something that needs sorting out, and it's a real test for like the first game of the playoffs being the same day as this like bad group stage run. Can they turn it around on such short notice? They have like half an hour to try and fix these problems. If there's anyone that could do it, it's Banny. But is this a bridge too far?
Yeah, and you have to wonder as well, with considering the fact that Witness EU was doing better against Banny than they were against Ball's team. Is that indicative of Froyo being a weaker team than the Balls team, or is it indicative of Witness EU focusing much more on their Banny matchup? Because it almost feels like there are, of course, times of storied NA and EU rivalry, and nowadays it almost seems like it is more a Banny EU rivalry rather than an.
Well, I mean, that's part
like,
of the
it
graduation.
seems that more so. It's not that Witness EU are here. They're here to win, right? But they're not here to like show NA. They're here to show Banny, right?
They're here because of I-69, right? Like that's that's the core of the reason. And yeah, of course, Banny was in that team, so there is a bit of a.
Yeah.
I think you give what you're saying has a good amount of truth to it, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I mean, we'll have to see how it plays out. I don't think map is going to make much of a difference as far as the series is concerned, because I mean, at this level, teams are just comfortable with anything.
I'm also interested a little bit. You mentioned before that the Europeans were focused very heavily on specifically anti-banning, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
To what degree do you think, anti-stratting would be in comparison to just playing a really solid game? And does that make a difference in the results between Ball's team and froyotech?
I think it's a tough question because at the invite level, it's an arms race, right? There's no restrictions. So the better you are compared to the competition. And while, yes, there's always going to be a level of DM and just fundamentals that are ever getting higher, at the same time, this is something we've seen in RGL where counter-stratting is a really big deal, especially if it's a season where, and we've seen seasons like this, where the one or two teams that you need to beat. The rest of the teams, as long as you show up and do well and like play your game, then the cards should fall in your favor. But these are the guys you're gunning for to like actually move up. And if you only have a couple teams you really need to be focused on, then yeah, figuring out how they do specific things and maybe countering those specific things becomes more of a concern. And especially like this has been somewhat controversial in the past as well, as far as STVs being uploaded from scrims and things like that, because to what extent are you obligated to let other people see how you're playing if that also means competition gets to see what you're doing in Counter-Strat, right?
Yeah, it's weird though, right? Because like you say about counter-stratting, I think to some extent this is like the hardest and like the weirdest land to counter-strat, right? Because you're saying, okay, if you're going into a season in Europe, the team you have to beat is Witness, right? You know that if you can counter-strat them, you're probably good enough to beat the rest of the teams, and you do it, right? If you come here, like, which teams do you counter-strat? You're counter-stratting everyone at this point. Like, there's only so much demo watching and planning out folders and folders worth of strats for everyone you can do. You and especially as well because we've got players from 3 continents. Like the Australians, most of those haven't played international competition ever. Like they're just playing the game completely differently, and you've got to just get used to an entirely new philosophy of the game. I don't know. I think it's the hardest land to counter-strat.
QMD does have the binder.
Yeah, true.
That's true.
I haven't looked at it yet. I'm going to have to check that out.
I don't know if you'd be allowed to, right? Sure, that's under lock and key.
Maybe. I could probably butter my way in.
When they're knocked out, maybe.
Yeah. I do think, oh man, I had it. As far as, nope, I don't have it.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
We'll take that back from you.
Sorry.
Are we at a point we want to talk about like predictions maybe for this game? Because he talked about Froyo, right? And how like it's not been great, but I don't know. I still don't think I can see myself saying they're not the favorite. I think it's still going to be a 2-0, and I think it might be the confidence that like they need after coming off some of these losses. But I will say, if they lose this, it's disaster stations for them.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have been following North American TF2 for years and years, and I don't have a vendetta against froyotech winning on principle, but I usually cheer for the underdog, which tends to be
Not
froyotech. That being said, though, even in like recent seasons, when it looks like G6 can kind of show up and beat Froyo on any given LAN or something like that, it's hard to not see Froyo as the underdog, because all these times throughout the years, it's looked like there's been really good competition, and it's looked like Froyo has been getting properly challenged. And I have built an aversion to predicting against Froyo, because they are like perpetually the victory bound team, right? It feels like even if they lost like 15 grand finals in a row to a team, it's still froyotech, and they are not the underdogs. The other team is still the underdogs.
And I do want to say, even at international lands where froyotech has competed before and won, they never flawlessly won. I don't think at any point they've ever flawlessly won in international LAN.
Internationally, I think, yeah, probably not.
And, I mean, you know, the results speak for themselves. True, the core has changed. The enemies now have also changed for froyotech. And, you know, maybe we shouldn't frame it still at this discussion of, is it froyotech versus, you know, the fate of destiny holding them in first place.
Well, apparently
we do have pick bands,
yes,
actually.
I'm curious to hear this.
Yeah, let's bring those up.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be 1 minute on that. Never mind. We're not bringing them up just yet. We can carry on the point.
You all in the
we'll-
chat, drop
yeah.
your predictions.
Drop your predictions for pick bands. Let's see how that plays.
I don't know. I've been enjoying the Koth I've seen today. I've seen some really good Koth maps, both on this stream and some of them on the Essentials B stream as well. I'm very impressed with some of the gameplay. Even for some of these teams who are like the bottom half of the invite bracket, they've brought it close. And it feels like kind of the great equalizer in this. Like, it seems like it's got more upset potential. I guess with best of 7, it's kind of harder, but we've had some good games, and I love the sort of fast-paced nature.
I remember seeing, because I know that ETF2L plays Bagel now, but it was a later edition, right?
It's been in there for about 3 years at this
Okay.
point, I think.
That's
I feel like at that point you can adapt.
I do remember seeing, maybe it was specifically against G6 that Witness Gaming EU were saying we do not want to play Bagel against them.
Yeah, that's G6 on Bagel, right? Like, and no one wants to play G6 on Bagel.
That is true. I mean, you don't really want to play G6 on like
That's
that, but
true. That's
yeah.
also true.
Yeah, Bagel is by far my favorite Koth. I know the only flaw people bring up about it is the forward hold being difficult, which is a difficult problem to solve, because in the case of something like Product, you have very close access to spawns. You can like off class, I suppose, and a map like Clear Cut, there's a lot of space there, so it's just but it's a lot easier to push through. Versus Bagel's kind of in between there, where you either make it kind of too big to like roll out, which disrupts the flow, or you make it so small that the forward spawn or the forward hold turns into just a spawn camp. It's arguably worse.
We do have maps apparently. I think we're good to maybe bring those up onto the stream. So maybe we might get some Bagel, maybe we might get some of something else. But let's bring these up and have a look.
Okay.
Oh, we got Product, some different Koth. Product, Metalworks, and Sunshine.
Yes, and Product is historically a map that Froyo enjoys playing, but
They haven't picked it.
Yeah, I need to like squint because the screen's a little small.
No, Balls team picked
Balls
Product.
team picking it is interesting. I mean, a lot of Balls team's players are the reason why Froyo was so good on Product. I think specifically we're going to see a huge performance from Scouts. Like Jay is going to do a lot.
100%.
And Product, of course, is the sniper map, and there are talented snipers on Balls team as well.
Is this the first time we're getting Metalworks on stream today? I don't remember seeing any Metalworks.
I've seen Metalworks once on the B stream.
On the B stream, okay.
Okay.
But I wasn't really paying attention to that as a, we're running Fireside too, so it was
Yeah,
something you might see like out of the corner of your eye more so than something like you can actually react to.
Yeah, okay.
But we're gonna
Apparently-
turn this back to the casters,
Yes.
actually.
So, yeah, we'll see you guys there.
All right, welcome back to Fireside Cast. This is quarter bracket finals. We've got some great games coming up. Froyo versus the ball team. I'm DeltaMarket. Joining me is ecchymoses. How are we doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm going to be honest with you. We've seen a lot of Froyo today. Not a lot of the balls team, but we did see them recently. They put up a good fight, as best of a fight as they could, admittedly, given their matchup. But hopefully they can take the loss and learn a little bit from it. They had so little time, but I'm hoping they can get a little bit out of that loss and apply some of that to their matchup against froyotech tonight. This is, I think, the last round we're covering and will be the longest round. As you saw earlier, the map picks, we are going through a best of 3 for this. And now that it is playoffs, we are going through the infinite overtime config. So no more hard limit. Teams can't, park the bus anymore. No more that EU tech. We're going to be covering product for our first map, as we saw with the pick ban screen. Again, Froyo versus the balls team.
Yeah, we actually casted the ball team versus G6 on product maybe 3 or 4 hours ago. That was a 4-2 for G6. So ball team, they must feel confident bringing out a map. They narrowly lost against G6, now against Froyo. On that, I was kind of surprised because ball team didn't run sniper. Obviously, product's a map, you can do that, but we have not seen them do it yet. So I want to see what their plan is here.
Yeah, product, obviously, the Highlander map, as we call it, and by we, I mean those of us who hate product. The Highlander map, as we call it, is, as I'm sure everyone knows, the one and only map where, well, I guess not the only map, but one of the maps where sniper is one of the strongest classes to pick on it. You can perma-snipe on it the entire time and face almost no drawback in a way if you have the right person off-classing. It is a struggle to deal with sniper a lot of the time, even if they're just above decent on product. And I'm hoping we don't see too much of it. Obviously, I hope for a little bit of off-classing, I hope for a little bit of silliness, but hopefully we don't have to deal with a perma-sniper or anything tonight, especially. Well, I guess it would make sense because they're trying to, clinch the map when it is the upper bracket quarterfinals. No team is eliminated from this, from my understanding. It'll just move someone down to the lower bracket, but...
Yeah, no one is getting eliminated from these games yet, but they do determine your seeding, and it would definitely not be in Froyo's desire to end up in the lower bracket so early on. That's not the Froyo I know, and they would not be happy with that. Neither of these teams would, for that being said. We do have 12 in the server, so hopefully we do end up going live here pretty soon. Players just DMing it out, warming it up one last time, and teams have readied up. Who do you think, I don't think we've done this yet on this stream, who do you think the players are to look out for on both teams? If you could just name one on each team.
Honestly, for Froyo, I would have to say I got to put my money on Brandslam, mostly because I've seen Brandslam. He's a fantastic player. I love watching him play. And I think for Ball's team, I'm going to have to say we look out for High Five. Right off the bat, Jay up on Sniper. So already, I think my prediction of no perma Sniper has gone down the drain. But does manage to find a pick very early on. Takes down Habib. That's going to be Laz and Patty both going down. Slumnish and High Five going to be able to take them down. And Ball's land team starts the round, I guess, I should say, starts the series off with a very fast 3K, forcing froyotech back into their own spawn. And they'll get a good bit of cap time out of this, but Hubada did survive, so froyotech might get a little aggressive here soon.
Yeah, Jay being on Sniper, I do think threw Froyo off guard. I think Froyo knew that the ball team did not run Sniper during their G6 game, so maybe they did not expect it. Either way, Froyo, they now have to deal with it. They have to come up with some strat here. Habib just shooting stickies over the side is going to be the start of this. Froyo, though, is going to be taking the Uber over. It's kind of a family Uber. Everyone's in this. The ball team is going to have a much better Uber, much longer Ubers. Air shot comes out. But that scout somehow stays alive, but Slemnish found Banny. High five also takes down Laz. So I think Froyo, they just sent the Uber in. That's kind of like the ham-fisted approach, and it did not work out well for them.
Yeah, Froyo did not have a good time pushing into that. It felt a little sloppy, honestly. Just they're slightly disconnected. Felt like they weren't playing together as much as they should have. But I think with this next push, even Ubers yet again, they're probably just going to try and take some kind of dry fight. They know Jay is still up on the sniper, so they're probably going to shift their focus relatively soon to just bullying this sniper as much as possible in dealing with him early on. Big bomb from Patty landing onto the med. Not going to be, or is going to be able to find Zilly, but not going to be able to survive. High five going in himself, and will get the pick onto Hubada, but that is a team wipe for Ball's team. With both Mets dying, it's not the most terrible wipe. They have a minute 40 worth of time ad right now. So froyotech really has to hold on to this point for a long time and win a couple very, very quick fights, I'm assuming Ball's team is going to throw their way.
Yeah, that's exactly what Froyo has to do, and it looks like they're starting it off by trying to Ball's team is just running up with Slemnish doing so much damage to these soldiers, and he runs through connector. Look at him, he just took down Patty. Brandslam goes down as well to Artist. I feel like Ball's team, they just walked up to the point and took it back. Froyo, they threw everything they had at it, and the Ball team just destroyed them here. I think there's now a good chance to run out the clock. Ball team is going to have Uber very soon. Froyo's about to have it too, but they're probably going to end up with it at the same time. Hopefully, Zilly doesn't get caught out by this, though. He does know how to count the Ubers, so I'm not too worried about that. Right now, Froyo just walking it up very slowly, very methodically. Doesn't look like they want to take those aggressive Ubers that have not really worked well for them yet. They're just taking up this side of the point, finally trading once they get to the point. Slemnish is running behind during this, so there's a bit of a flank fight happening. Banny, though, is kind of shutting that down, punishing the Ball team for taking that flank fight. The Uber finally comes out for Zilly as well, so it's over. But I don't think the Ball team really has enough here to stay in. Jay looks like he wants to stay around, but now he finally has to run away.
Yeah, Ball's team really cannot afford to stay in for as long as they are here. That scout there, I believe that was Jay, getting levitated sent to 8 HP, should have been dead to rights, but whoever was fighting him just didn't want to chase. They didn't want to commit to it, and they didn't want to chase him down. I guess they maybe didn't realize he was so low. So Jay ends up surviving, should have died though, and that should have really led Froyo to an easy collapse on the rest of Balls, as they weren't even by their cliff door. They were just caught out in the open. I mean, it should have been a very quick wipe, but froyotech was a little bit slow with it, and Patty going to be able to find Slemnish, so this does slow down Ball's team a little bit. They do use Uber as well. Habib going to be able to find a pick as well, and it'll slow down Ball's team a little bit more, but it's only like 3 seconds of time that they're going to get off of that. They still have to hold for another minute and almost a half to get anything out of it. But this Uber going to come through. Artist jumping forward will weaken Patty. Slemnish going to be able to mop up the damage. Tries to take the fight with that scout up there, but they are going to get away towards China. It's going to be Jay jumping towards, taking this fight. Nice arrow from Hubada to save his scout, but Brandslam is going to die nonetheless. That's going to be Laz jumping in, going to be taken down by Slemnish as well. Jay rushing forward. Weak though, taking his time, backing up, getting healed, and now Ball's team is going to flip the point yet again.
Yeah, that's what they've done time and time again. Froyo cannot hang on to the point as long as the Ball team is able to. 10 seconds left. Froyo has to do something here, and Froyo has Uber ads, so now is their chance. Banny running forward, probably wants to take the Uber, has not. I got baited there. Soldier jumping behind through connector is Dingo, so the Ball team wants to try to flank. It looks like, I think that Soldier is like 2 health though, that's behind. Banny's chasing him down. So Froyo kind of has all of this on lockdown so far, although there is a scout behind. Uber trading out for both teams on the points. Banny chasing these players behind. Slemnish does go down, and now the Ball team only has 4 players alive. Artist is hitting some great lock and load shots, but it's not enough to find a frag, and the ball team, they don't care that they haven't found a frag. They don't care that they're down a player. They're just staying in. Jay gets punished for that decision, unfortunately. And on the other side of things, Patty in-house looks like he's probably going to survive, meaning that the ball team here didn't really get what they want, but it's overtime. They have so much time to make this work.
Yeah, Balls Land team, with it being in overtime right now, all they have to do is take one good fight, and it could spell the end of the round. They could get themselves up on the board first and foremost. And, I mean, looking into it right now, it looks like they could just take a pretty quick fight as soon as they get their Uber. It would have to be some kind of exchange, so they need to kite around it properly, make sure they're not dropping players in it. And both teams have Uber now. Balls Land team walking forward slowly. They're not going to go too crazy. They want to wait, and they do end up using the Uber. Banny rushing forward, going to be cutting down. I believe this is going to be Artist that he's trying to cut down. Is it going to be successful in it, though? Jay's going to be able to find Patty. That's 2 players down for the side of froyotech. It's 1 player ad for them. Artist getting some stickies laid up on the point to try and prevent Froyo from pushing too far forward. Jay peeks, but right now it looks like it's a stalemate at the moment. Neither team really wants to aggress into the other, and Balls Land team needs to touch the point. They're going to be touching it right now, about halfway on the cap, and they're getting a lot of damage here. Habib is going to go down very early. A nice rocket from I-5. It's going to be an all-out brawl on the point. Laz going to be able to find Jay on top of the point. Artist going to be able to hit a pipe onto Laz. Now Branson killing Hi-5. It's 2 players alive for the Balls Land team, and now it's just Artist. 40 HP, has to go forward. That's a pipe on a Brand Slam, but it's too little, too late. froyotech able to maintain control of the point, and it will be Patty in Hubada as the last ones able to convert that first round.
Yeah, Froyo was down like a minute and a half near the start of that round, but it doesn't matter. They take it back. It doesn't matter that it's in overtime. Froyo held that down super clutch, and I have to admit, I did not expect that to happen. I thought the ball team was starting to run away with it. They're sticking with their strat, though. Jay, sniper to mid. I'm watching Habib as he starts off this mid, and Jay as well gets a sight line onto Hubada, just body shots him straight down. That's not what Froyo wants. Jay is also doing such a good job running away and staying alive, causing so much chaos. Banny finally gets on Jay, but does that even matter at this point? We have full ad for the ball team, and Slemnish is going to be hunting down these low HP players with assistance from Dingo. It looks like Habib actually somehow takes down Dingo, but Slemnish gets that traded out. I think the ball team is in a really good position here to take the point with full ad and kind of start running down the clock, but Froyo is going to begin fighting this point yet again. It's mid-fight 2.0. Laz missed his jump a bit and gets punished, taken down.
Yeah, Laz missing his jump there. Going to be a little bit rough for Froyo, but I think they can make it work. Patty was really weak there. Got, I think, a pack with 17 health. He's half HP right now, so he can't really do anything. Branson going to be going in. He's going to get taken down as well. Patty dies as well, so 2 players down for the side of froyotech. It's 1 player ad. Now 2 as Hi-5 has spawned. He's looking to try and maybe get in quick, just get in to support his team. He doesn't want to go too deep. Maybe he can get set up on Froyo's Pride Rock, but beyond that, I'm not sure there's much Balls can do with it being so close, so even. That's a big bomb coming in from Laz. He's going to be able to find Artist, and that is the only pick he's going to get as Habib falls. Now Laz, now Banny as well. Jay on a 5K. This is brutal. Brand Slam behind the rock. Going to be able to find 1. That's Dingo, but that's his only 1. And froyotech going to be losing that fight pretty heavy-handedly. 30 seconds off the clock for Balls.
Yeah, they do lose that very convincingly, as at least there's Uber ad for Froyo as they're going to be taking this Uber in, chasing whatever they can down. Laz on the chase. Can he find the medic? It's going to be Laz finding Zilly down. Banny is also over here seeing what frags he can find, but it looks like the Balls team has found a lot of frags somehow onto the soldiers, and Hubada also went down. Brand Slam takes the 1v1 but loses it to Slemnish. Slemnish is on a tear. He took down both the Froyo scouts right there, and Zilly and Hubada went down, so ball team held the point and kept Ubers even.
Yeah, that's just good TF2 from Balls team right there. Their scouts and their soldiers were just on top of finding those people outside the Uber, focusing them down and getting them out of the equation, giving them a really good post. Hi-5 will get taken down by Brand Slam. Banny pushing forward, going to be able to take down Artist with the help of Patty landing the final rocket. Pushing forward now is fighting a scout, going to be able to take down Slemnish. He's pinching through this connector area, is on Zilly, trying to get it, and will with the help of I believe that was one of, actually no, I'm pretty sure Zilly got the resup at the last moment, but I mean, that's just
Yeah. That is absolutely amazing TF2 here. Zilly hitting the reset bind, perfect timing. We got the not even Ubers because Froyo has ad. Could see Froyo take a full ad push straight into the other team, but it looks like they might not have counted those Ubers perfectly. Otherwise, I bet they would have just sent it into Zilly's face. Either way, this timer is starting to equalize here as we have the Uber exchange go off. We do have one soldier go behind as Jay fights it down on point versus Banny. Looks like Jay, though, taking this 1v1. Who's going to win it? Is it going to be Banny? It's not even a 1v1, it's a 2v1, and Jay wins it with help. And now, even frag still. Jay sees a soldier jumping. Perfect denial. Wow, that was like a perfect, that would look like auto aim there, but of course Jay is just that good. And the ball team crushed Froyo here.
I mean, every time we see a situation where Froyo should have the upper hand, we see Ball's team rise from, I guess, the ashes, so to speak. I mean, they keep pulling themselves together in a way that seems like not possible, and yet they're making it possible. So Ball's team is really putting on a good performance here, despite the fact that they lost that first round. Hopefully they're going to be able to hold on to this momentum they have with these plays that they're making. Now, the time is relatively close. They only have about 30 seconds worth of ad, but I'm sure they're going to be able to take that down a little bit more. Jay's going to be waddling forward with this Uber. Artist is going to get caught out. Banny's going to be the one to take him down. That's actually 2 players down for the side of Ball's land team. 2-player ad for froyotech, and that is Ball's just completely out. They're out of this mid. They're out of grass. They're gone to their last. They don't want anything to do with this.
Yeah, they don't want anything to do. Banny put them all the way back, but you know, Ball team, for all of that, they're still ahead on the clock. They're still kind of leading here. We do see Slemnish taking some damage, but Artist also putting out his own high five, narrowly missing that air shot, but Artist takes down Laz during that. Dingo behind gets punished by Brand Slam and Banny, but Artist finds another. Artist has found 2 frags so far on both the Froyo soldiers. He is single-handedly keeping his team in the game here as he walks up this cliff side and takes down Banny. Artist is putting his team on his back, taking down the Froyo members one at a time. He has their number, apparently. Artist just phenomenal player here, but the Ubers are going to be getting traded as it looks like Brand Slam is going to be the recipient of the blue Uber. Slemnish finds a soldier during this Uber, does so much damage to him. Jay helps clean that up, and on the other side of things, it looks like Froyo ends up giving up the point.
Yeah, Froyo kind of had to peel away there. The Uber for Balls was so much better, but then they just started flashing people, and it drained, almost ending it as quickly as it began. They had maybe 4 seconds of good Uber there where they were just pushing Froyo back. I mean, Froyo's Uber was already at like 15% by the time Balls was at like 60, 70, and then they just flashed everyone, and it kind of drained it. They weren't able to get as deep as I think they had, or they would have liked to, and maybe pick up a couple players. Then as I say that, Banny falls onto a trap, and now Artist getting a bunch of spam into Valley on top of the Banny trap kill. That's Habib going down. Jay going to be able to find the Uber coming out. Now Brandslam going to be pushing towards main. The counter pop coming out from Balls with 6 seconds on the clock. Froyo can't forget about the point here. It's Brandslam getting levitated craters due to high five, launching him up in the air. Artist looking at the point, trying to get these sticks up, and will successfully take down Banny. It's just Hubba on the point. Can he claim the point for his own? No, he cannot. It's just the med, and that will be the first round for Balls, getting themselves a relatively, I would say, extremely well-earned win.
That was very well earned. You know, last round, double overtime. This time, Balls really took that round. The first thing that sticks out to me is Jay again going sniper, so it appears this strat is what they believe in, and it's what they're gonna stick with. That last round, I have to give huge credit to Artist. We kept saying his name, but he just kept finding frags with the traps or with the lock and load or whatever. Artist took that one for his team. So far, it looks like the Balls team has to play really passively. Jay is really far back here, but Patty finds the first frag on the flank, and I think it's kind of all gone wrong, maybe for the Ball team. I think Froyo might have figured this one out, because I don't think we've seen a mid this dominant so far. I don't think the Balls team got a single frag. Okay, they got the roamer or the pocket soldier. That doesn't really mean too much because Froyo is dominating on this mid.
Yeah, Froyo really stepped it up this mid. I think they realized that Balls isn't just going to run Jay Sniper one time or two times. They realize now it's an every round occurrence where they're running Jay Sniper as soon as he spawns up, and they took advantage of how passive Balls was playing. Jay wasn't able to hit his shots for that round, and Patty finding that pick on grass as well just really solidified Froyo's position on that mid. As soon as that pick was found, Balls had pretty much lost. Two soldiers bombing in though. Patty fighting Concrete, gets taken down. Habib going to be able to find high five. Now Slemish going down. Now Artist as well. Patty and Laz finding those two respectively. Habib trying to take down Dingo in this tiny little room here and will be successful. So that is a very heavy-handed fight from Froyo. Almost wiping Balls, giving themselves 50 seconds worth of time at now.
Yeah, but the forward hold has been breaking. The Balls team does have a very large Uber advantage. Let's see what they do with it. It looks like they're going to be trying to walk up the cliffside, taking it slowly, but they're getting bombed from behind. I believe that's Patty who's got on the medic. Patty takes down Slemnish, though. Uber's been popped off. As we jump forward, can Artist make the magic happen? I don't think he quite can, unfortunately, but the Balls team, they're not out of it yet. I mean, it's even frags. They're going to keep fighting over this point as they're very passive right now. Apparently, they just want to heal up or something. So that Uber getting stymied by Froyo is not what the Balls team wanted. That was really their chance to get back in this round. The time is definitely starting to slip away. A minute and a half off the clock already is a really bad start as Froyo has an iron grip on this point.
Yeah, Balls still, well, as I say that, I was about to say they have a window to get back in, but Froyotech ended up using their Uber here, so they're going to be pushing forward, 2 players down, getting Zilly there notably in that Uber. They only lose Laz for it. Now High Five dying very late as well. That's going to be a pretty detrimental late spawn to have, and I think Balls team is going to be, pretty locked out of the point right now. Jay tries to get in, but Patty is going to be able to take him down, and Froyotech has an iron grip on this point right now.
Yeah, 2 minutes off. Balls team, they got to make something happen. They got to do whatever they can to take this one away, and it looks like that's going to be cliffside. They're going to be walking up. Can they find a frag? There is a soldier really aggressive. Laz takes a lot of damage there, but not enough to go down, unfortunately. Habib is just raining pipes, iron bomber shots down into this valley area as he finally gets pushed back and actually catches a pipe of his own. Both sides, of course, are capable of doing that. Uber comes up by Froyo. Habib is jumping it straight in. He was a second away from killing the medic, I think, but he doesn't quite find it.
Zilly dies anyway.
Got punished there. Yeah, Zilly does die, as you mentioned, but I feel like the collapse, it's going to go right now, and it's Jay who takes out Banny. That right there determined who won this fight. If Banny won that, that would have been a guaranteed round, but now there's a chance, and there's a fight happening with the medic and Artist. Hubada goes down. I would point out Hubada's spawn is really bad now. Hubada's going to take a long time to spawn.
Yeah, Hubada got... he just got pet really hard there. I mean, he's on that very late respawn, even with his spawn getting advanced from Balls capping the point, it wouldn't matter. He was still on that 9-second spawn. And I will say, Banny is playing as the handsome man. He's roaming around, trying to find his way. Is he on Ur?
He's on, yeah, the big ranger or whatever that is.
Oh, the big Erder. I don't know why I thought this was Ur. He does find Zilly, though, gets the backstab, and manages to live with 6 HP. Gets out of there by the skin of his teeth. Artist looking to try and maybe set up a trap. Banny finally goes down to Dingo. Did get spotted, so it will be even players. And now Zilly has respawned for Balls. But now they face an unfortunate situation. They've got 2 minutes on the clock compared to Froyo, who has 5 seconds in there at what I would pretty much classify as full disad. You know, they're sitting at about 50, 55-ish. This is where you kind of just, I mean, you can't really back up and send in a sack because of the time. You have to, have your presence be known. Froyotech going to be popping forward. Laz going to be bombing and getting some good damage onto Artist. Will he collect the kill? Yes, he will. Actually, it's going to be Habib finding it. Jay going to be able to find Laz. Now Patty finding Dingo. Habib dies as well. Even players for both teams right now. Banny going through connector, looking to pinch this scout here, taking the fight, but does get jumped by the soldier. And now froyotech playing a little bit more passive than I think they'd like to, but they get that point. It's overtime for froyotech now. Balls team is looking to recapture. They have to make sure they stay in the fight. Patty Spawn gets advanced. He is down. Now Hubba dying. Now Brand Slam dying. These are two players you don't want dying, especially in this situation where Zilly has just died. Habib getting a pick onto Slemnish here, and I think this is where the fight is slowing down as Balls has wiped, and there's nothing they can do at this point to salvage the round.
Yeah, there's nothing they can do, and I feel like that round was more of a statement than anything by Froyo. Banny did not have to go spy there. They could have just done a 4-man sack and accomplished the same thing, but Banny maybe just wants to tilt the other team, maybe just wants to pull it out and show that he's got their number, and he does that perfectly there, taking the round down, and it looks like this time Balls team is going to respect the Froyo aggression. They're going to put Jay on scout, maybe hoping Froyo goes really aggressive at the start and punishes them. It looks like the Ball team is starting off actually by themselves going aggressive as Habib gets bombed towards his team. Dingo takes him out. Dingo finds the health pack, staying alive. The frags are definitely in favor of Ball team as Dingo just collects health packs as the fight has kind of ended.
Yeah, that was a really quick mid-fight compared to the last couple we've seen where it's just been balls win, Froyo win. Now it's, or well, I guess I should say balls win after almost a minute, balls win again after almost a minute, Froyo now. Those other mid-fights just took so long, but this one was almost instantaneous, and it was way closer than I think some might realize. I mean, Balls was close to losing that. Habib will get taken down. Jay's actually up on Sniper now, so the delayed Sniper swap will get bombed by Patty, does get taken down, but that's a trade between Patty and Dingo. Laz finds him. Brandslam going to be able to find Artist now. Laz dying to Slemnish. It's 3 players down for Balls team, and Froyo has 1 player add. They have a spawner coming up as Balls team kind of just looks to take down whatever they can, whatever's caught out, whatever's too aggressive, as they now pop the super. That's going to be Slemnish finding Banny here. Habib is able to find Artist. Now Dingo, as Brandslam is also able to find High Five. Slemnish is able to find Brandslam, but I think it might be too little too late. There's already 3 players dead for the side of Balls team, and now they have to peel back and try and find whoever's behind them. Habib was caught. That'll be a late death for them, and that'll be something they can play with on this point.
Yeah, it is something they can play with as they don't have to deal with the enemy demo, but they do have full dis-add as Banny runs this one forward. Not taking the Uber, though, kind of surprising. I guess it's because they hold up. High five! Takes down Hubba. That's a drop. Froyo's medic has dropped the Uber charge. And Banny is just sending it forward for his whole team, but guess what? He can't even get the medic. That 4-man sack did not work. Banny looked to be in a position to take the round, but guess what? It's now the Ball team with Uber add, with time add, and in a position to maybe do a forward hold, which is kind of what they're trying to set up here as they're fighting, but they do look like, no, they're bombing into grass. They are absolutely trying to forward hold here, and it looks like they've gotten it off at the start. Ferraro's trying to break it, but Patty's down. Frags are trading it down, and it looks like there's a fight happening in main as a soldier for the Ball team is actually in the Froyo's Tech resupply room, and looks like Laz has also managed to break through. There was an Uber that has been taken into the other team's last. A really chaotic fight, but in the end, I think Froyo will keep their medic alive.
Yeah, Habada was able to survive. Almost ate a nice 70. Hold on, wait a minute. Potential air shot. No, Zilly surfs it away. Is getting rebombed though. 8 HP. Soldier still on him. Zilly goes down. Laz able to collect the kill, and that gives froyotech complete add. There's 3 players alive. High Five going in for it, but not quite able to get the force. Not quite able to get the drop. Habada milking, living at 58 HP, and now able to get that health pack. Froyotech with about a minute to burn after they capture this point. I think they'll be able to do so pretty easily. They should be able, actually they probably won't be able to set up a forward hold. I'm pretty sure they just had someone spawn, so they have to play this a little bit further back, but they can be aggressive given that they have this ad.
Yeah, they can be aggressive, as you said, but it looks like Froyo is gonna not just completely send it in, or at least wait a second before doing so around the corner of Cliff, as High Five is behind, but the Uber is chasing down Zilly. I am in fear for Zilly's life, but he collected the health pack. Finally, Laz cleans him up. Laz did get air shot there, but I think Froyo does not mind getting air shot when the other team gets wiped, but oh, Dingo got in. Hubada's down. I didn't know how he got in, but Dingo, what a great rocket, what a great salvage. You look at the time, and guess what? It's the Ball team who's still ahead. The Ball team has Uber ad. It's kind of still in their favor.
Yeah, Balls team has a little bit of room to play with now. They have some ad. It'll probably be about 20, 25-ish by the time they get to the point. Froyo is not really going to be able to build this out, I think, as much as they'd like to. Brandslam is up on Sniper, peeking from China here, looking to find a pick, but just unscoping, rescoping very quickly, trying to get info at this rate. There's no one he can really shoot here. They're all playing behind cover. They know the Sniper exists. He drops down, pushing up to the point. Trying to come up left side, but I guess he's just rotating over to grass. Really everything revolves around the Sniper right now. Does hit the 100 damage shot onto Dingo. Dingo will survive, and now he's getting bombed. 1 rocket, 2 rockets, 2nd rocket misses, the 3rd rocket misses as well. Benny takes down High Five. Brandslam dies as well, though. This is 2 players down for both teams. Now Artist dying, or Dingo dying as well, I should say. It's now 3 players down for each team. This is pretty even. Froyo does have their spawners, though, and I think they're going to be able to reaggress much, much quicker than Balls can.
Yeah, Slemnish right now holding it down on point along with Jay, as it looks like the Ubers are probably about to be traded off by both teams. It's going to be Jay taking it for the Ball team and Banny as well. Uber, as it drops, it's going to matter who does damage, who's able to find the frags, and it looks like so far both teams are playing very cagey. And guess what? You got to stand on point, Banny. You got to play on point. C9 maybe? One could say that's the point just takes out. No one on Froyo got on the point. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I don't know if they couldn't get in. Maybe they were all getting fought. Maybe they just forgot about the point. Nonetheless, no one on Froyo put their body on the point, and they lost that round. It's 2-2 right now in a series of events I don't think anyone has anticipated. Froyotech obviously has not been the top performing team here. Like a G6 is undefeated. Witness EU is 5-1. Froyotech has been losing more games than I think they'd like, and right now they're looking to just secure a product and make this a 2-map win so they can get on with their day. I mean, they need to get some kind of momentum. Patty is going to die here. Laz is going to be able to find 2, Artist and Slemnish. Now it's going to be Jay finding Laz and Habib. And now Banny dying, Brandslam dying as well. I'm pretty sure that's a 4K for Jay. Him and High Five, the last one standing, going to be able to cap mid at 4 balls.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Jay's stat line and admiring it. 34 and 13. That's kind of insane. I think there's a reason we're on the J cam right now. I'll just put it that way. I think there's going to be a chance for Froyo to take this round back, but I think this is like the first time in a while the Ball teams won a mid, and that one was a really close one, but they keep walking away with it. There's some sticky traps. I'm worried Habib has not noticed. Oh, he jumps to the side of them, doesn't get dead on at least. But Habada down to 20 health. I did not notice how that happened, but that's really stalling Froyo out here. They're having a hard time getting started with this fight. Artist is doing a really great job as Laz explodes himself in the grass area. Froyo is kind of all on the concrete area, and they're all low health, so whatever Ball team has been doing is very successful here.
Yeah, Ball's team has seen a lot of success this round, taking off a minute of time before Froyo can even think about getting on that cap. I mean, Froyo had like a little bit of cap time right at the beginning of the game, but they never actually converted the point. They've not, been able to capture it. They haven't really been able to position themselves in such a way. But now with these Ubers even, I am pretty sure we're going to see something happen here. And as I say that, Banny gets popped on. He is going to be able to find Slemnish, but I don't think there's anyone else. Significantly better Uber for Ball's team. They're going to be able to find Laz, Jay taking them down. That is a bomb coming into Zilly, though. That's going to be Patty finding 1, finding 2, finding Zilly and Dingo. Habib will die too, Jay. That's a 6K for this round. Now a 7K as he finds Patty. And now it's Brandslam, Banny, and Habada alive on the point with Slemnish and Jay up here, as well as Artist.
Yeah, we do have these 3 players, but they just can't fight when all of Froyo is alive, so they do just back up. Froyo also has Uber advantage, so the Ball team has to be careful here, but again, they're up 2 minutes on the clock. They have to be feeling good about themselves. We see Artist start the process of fighting over this point. Soldiers jumping in as well. Maybe a 4-man sack, maybe not. Dingo does end up kind of helping the trade happen for Patty. High Five is behind, causing chaos and destruction on the back lines, but the Froyo players do clean that up. It looks like Ball team wanted to cap the point, maybe thought against it due to the spawn situation. So the Ball team still not able to catch the point off. they're still worried about the Froyo Uber, so the ball team just has to wait for this Uber situation to equalize, or they could run a 4-man sack, but I feel like we haven't seen a whole lot of those. We just see a normal sack.
What a force from Plinko!
Yeah, a single soldier bomb forcing in 2025 on product. I did not think I would see that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody here thought they'd see that. Not at the venue, not at home, not here on the casting couch, not on the production area of this venue. I don't think anyone thought a single soldier sack on product in the good old year of 2025 would have been a successful one, but here we are. Froyo forced here. Balls does take their sweet time trying to get in here. Froyo already up 50, but I don't really think it matters. They use in. Artist bombs forward, isn't going to be able to find a lot of damage here, and actually, this is kind of a nothing burger. They actually drop Dingo. Now they drop Artist as well. Benny finds both of them on a 5K. It's going to be a trade. Patty going to be going down. Maybe Brand Slam. Yes, Brand Slam will go down. Habib finds high five. Now Zilly going down. Jay finds Laz. 10 kill streak finally shut down by Banny. His reign of terror has come to an end as Froyo looks to recap the point. Being careful not to deny Jay or Laz here.
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm actually scared for the ball team. Not only did that Uber go absolutely disastrous, but Froyo has full ad, and Froyo could try to forward hold here. I'm really worried if Froyo gets a good forward hold, the ball team will just lose. But guess what? Froyo didn't even try to forward hold. Maybe they were worried about the respawn situations. Either way, we did not get a forward hold, so the ball team is able to get out clearly. Froyo's playing pretty far forward. They might want to take a forward aggressive Uber here. We'll have to see how this plays out. Dingo and Banny just spamming slowly, shooting scattergun across the point, while the other one's on China shooting rockets. But the Uber does come out. I'm not sure what caused this Uber, but Patty cut the other team off, and it caught the Zilly out. So this Uber was really well timed by Froyo. Everyone got in on this Uber, and the ball team, they only have a spy left alive, who is also in the resupply.
It is Jay up on the spy as well, and you were talking about his stat line earlier. I just want to remind everybody, this guy's going 40, 14, and 14. This guy's KDA is off of the charts, and despite that, they are down 40 seconds in this round, especially with them being up on Spy. This is really inconvenient. He jumps in onto Hub, doesn't find any revolver shots, hits a butter knife, but this isn't able to do anything else. Benny adds that as his 8th kill of this life, but there's 3 players alive on Froyo, 2 players alive on Ball's team. They have some cap time, so they don't have to worry about the round instantly ending, but I don't know if there's anything Slemnish can really do. Taken down to a very concerning amount of HP and is still getting spammed. Can't get on top of the point. That's a pipe, or that's a sticky going to be able to find him. And they Uber on the point. froyotech going to prevent any more cap time coming in from Balls, as they were only a minute away from victory. And I guess the real question is, now that it's match point, and I guess now that we have a pause, I guess the real question is, will we see another tie, or will we see Froyo finally decide to put an end to this?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. You know, the Balls team doing the pause, something's clearly gone wrong for them. This was probably the least competitive map we have seen. So whatever has gone wrong, they're going to be trying to correct it here. But, you know, the talent on this team, former Froyo players, former invite winners, against beating Froyo, upset as Season 6, as some of the analysts mentioned earlier. There's so much talent on this team. If they talk it out, I think they can come up with a really good plan here. From what I've seen in these last rounds, it's kind of just been on the approach to the point where Froyo's had the advantage. It seems like when they try to go to point, Froyo shoves the flank, gets a soldier in through Japan or one of these other sides, and it just is too much for the Balls team to handle, and they've got to figure this out.
Yeah, and the pause has ended here, so hopefully the attack was able to get through to Balls team what they need to have got through. froyotech going to be starting this mid off early with some decent sticky placement, but none of them are going to be able to get any damage. Jay is up on Sniper instantly again, peeking China as we saw with his first few rounds. I'm pretty sure there's someone coming from grass as well as the bomb from Cliff. They're not going to be able to get anything. Laz is actually going to get taken down. They're going to be able to trade out with Jay, Patty, and Banny, and now Habib. Habib actually takes himself out, but not before they take down Artist. Demo v Demo there, but it's 2 players alive for the side of froyotech. Brandslam has to escort Hubada out, takes a rocket, but is able to leave safely, and that is going to maintain even Ubers between Froyo and Balls. And I think Froyo is looking to just take a quick reaggress and catch Balls off guard.
Yeah, but we do have Jay on Sniper all the way up on China, so that might actually catch Froyo off guard, as Jay has now clearly been spotted. Missed his first shot, though. This Sniper is so difficult to deal with, and Froyo decides to deal with it by popping Uber immediately. Ball land team counter pops, and their Uber is much better here in this post-fight. Banny kind of looks like he might have gotten caught out, but actually, Brandslam manages to find a frag to trade him out, and it's going to be Ball land team going down 4, maybe down 5 if high 5 gets cleaned up. So that Uber by Froyo looked kind of just very simple and aggressive, but it worked out.
Yeah, and they also got Jay there right at the end of that fight, I suppose. I guess I can't say right at the end of that fight, but they found him, they bombed him, and that's going to be a nice late death. Jay will come up on scout here. High 5 will take down Patty, so that's a nice pick for Ball's team to play around with and try and make something happen. What a pipe from Habib, taking down Jay there. Slemness chasing, going to be able to find Laz. That's 2 players down for the side of froyotech. Balls with that 1-player advantage. They're looking to press on it as hard as they possibly can, but I don't think there's much more they can do. They're just looking to convert this cap and grow their ad even further.
Yeah, and we do see the Ball land team jumping onto Cliff, getting this force off. But Artist does go down, unfortunately, but you know, they got their target, which was the Uber force. I think this was just a 4-man sack, perfectly executed, and I think this was the first real proper 4-man sack we've seen this entire game, which is kind of surprising. And it worked perfectly, and so Froyo, they are forward holding. That's one of the disadvantages of a 4-man, and we got to see this forward hold break. It looks like the decision is to go through main or cliff side, and looks like these stickies have been cleared, and they actually pop through. I'm not sure they had to, but that's the decision made. Ball land team taking a lot of ground. They do take down Habib, and it looks like they're almost trying to cut off the combo, but weren't quite fast enough able to. Ball land team in a commanding position here, as they do actually have a high bomber landing onto the cliff. Jay is also helping us assist in this fight, and it's going very well as Branson and Lav have been cleaned up. Slemnish also takes down Patty, and you know, I was saying I'm not sure why they did that Uber, but hey, they got the frags. This Uber was phenomenal. I don't think they could have hoped for it to go better reasonably. Yeah,
honestly, with them popping as early as they did, that's probably the most they could get out of it. I mean, they got even more than what they should have got, honestly. They got a little bit extra. They took an extra cookie from the cookie jar, and I'm wondering if Froyo is going to be punishing them for that. This will be Habib bombing in deep. What a pipe, a lot of damage. It's nuclear, but he's not able to convert any of it to kills, and neither is anyone on Froyo, at least for the time being. That Uber gets nothing, and now Ball's team has 85. They get Banny in the dry fight. Jay goes down. Brandslam finds him and Dingo as well. Artist looking to kill this player on China, but is getting bombed by the soldier. That's going to be Laz and Brandslam. Now also Patty dying. 3 players dead. I guess this is Froyo's 4-man, but is this really a 4-man? I mean, Hubada has no one, or had no one back with him. He had to wait for Banny to spawn up, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, we do have to wait for him to spawn up, but fortunately that will be just now. Uber situation definitely on the side of Froyo, but not quite yet, and so the Ball team can forward hold. That's what they're doing. A properly executed forward hold can basically just win you a game, even if there's 3 minutes on the clock. Ball land team, both soldiers on right, Demo on left. Froyo, they don't have a pyro, but they do have Uber. They might just try to send it for the medic, but here we have Laz go through first, gets not air shot, taken down by Jay though. So this Uber gonna have to try to find what they can. Everyone's coming in, Banny's chasing it down. Brandslam gets taken down by Slemnish though, and now looks like Banny needs to start running away as he's just getting cleaned up, because that Uber did not find what we needed it to. High 5 trying to take down this scout, but actually Laz trades him out. Brandslam is the last person alive, and the Ball team, that was the forward hold they needed.
And I think this is what spells the end of the round. Froyo has no shot in getting to the point before these 8 seconds expire. And really all Ball's team has to do now is pop on the point, prevent them from getting any cap time whatsoever, let it revert, and get picks that they can. I mean, there's a scout caught out on concrete. Brandslam going to get taken down. This is very quick, point drain for Ball's team. There's just so little cap time. The Uber on the point prevented players from Froyo on, stacking it and trying to prevent it from draining. dying. There's a scout caught out on concrete. Players are just dying one by one in out of position places, and sometimes even when in position. But that looks like Ball's land team is going to tie it up. It is now match point across the board. So whoever wins this next round wins the first map of the upper bracket quarterfinal.
Yeah, the people who win this are going to be very happy. We do have a very aggressive mid as Laz is all the way on China. Gets taken down by Jay. Patty's in as well, though. Actually, Laz is still alive. It was Patty was taken down, and Laz doing so much damage to Artist, making so much space for the Froyo side. As Froyo, it seems like they've gotten the world here. Jay running down concrete, trying to find what he can, does so much damage, but not able to find the frag to finish it off. The Ball team not out of this yet, but Froyo did cap the point as our mid fight kind of continues. Both teams have now achieved Uber, so those are in play. Froyo getting aggressive here. Uber popped first for Froyo, immediately popped after by Zilly. Fighting going on point. No one really has committed on the unubered players yet, as both teams kind of just sit back on their own sides.
Yeah, froyotech does send in Laz. They want to try and get something, but they lose him and another player for it. They're going to be down 3 players with 2-player advantage for Ball's team. Now 1 player as High Five gets taken down. Dingo is spawning up, though. With Banny caught by their cliffside, it is possible that they could pet him in a way. They could try and just bully him as much as possible. He is hiding by the spawn. Gonna be trying to get this soldier kill maybe, as that was the only spawner. I think he knows about Banny being behind him in the spawn, though. We saw him turn around for just a brief moment. Banny going up towards Cliff now, drops behind Zilly. 2 meat shots, that's gonna be the kill as Patty comes in to secure it with the sync rocket. Laz also gonna be able to find Jay. Artist finding Laz at the end of the day, but I think it's too little too late unless they can find Hubada. Oh my goodness, they found Hubada!
Yeah, Artist hitting everything he needed to. This is like the 3rd time we've called out his name. Artist is the magician. He takes everyone down on Froyo, gives his team a chance back to take this point. And Jay on Sniper have to point that one out as the fight continues. Froyo has everyone spawned, and Jay takes Habib down, immediately putting an end to any chance of this fight continuing. Froyo might decide to 4-man. It looks like I do see a soldier bombing, but Laz does actually get taken down by Jay. Patty immediately gets cleaned up, and Froyo, they've got to run away. You cannot stay in when you're down 2 and the other team's only down 1.
Yeah, especially when the other team is only down their sniper. Like, you can peek out a little, you can peek wide now. You don't have to worry about the sniper, you know, oppressing you from Cliff or from China or from one of the many, many absurd places he can peek from on product. But nonetheless, you still have the entire rest of Ball's team, 2 soldiers, a scout, a demo, all of these players ready to deny you at a moment's notice. It does look like froyotech trying to push their way through connector. They're actually going to be Ubering here, looking to find the force from Zilly. They're not going to find anything, though. The counter pop now comes out from Ball's team. Banny goes behind Zilly on the point with their demo and their scout. Slumnish going to be able to find Brandslam. Patty and Banny both find Dingo J, and I believe that was... I mean, I don't even know. The kill feed's moving too quick. I can't keep up. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter. froyotech is going to be able to win that fight, wiping Ball's team and giving themselves a good chunk of Uber ad, though I'm not sure it's going to be very actionable.
Yeah, we will see if that Uber ad does come into play. Froyo might have been able to try to forward hold, but they didn't bother. It would have been really hard for them. Ball team already out here, and they want to try to take this point down. Looking at the time, Ball team ahead, but I feel like we've said this maybe every round where the Ball team is just ahead, but somehow Froyo manages to win. We do have so much damage. Laz is just sitting on the rock, shooting these players as they walk up. Slemnish, though, finally getting through, but Laz did find a frag onto Jay, so that's going to be real rough being down a scout. Sack looks like it's coming in as we have High Five jumping onto the medic, hitting a bunch of damage. Scouts running forward, trying to get on Hubada, but the Ball team was not able to get all the way on the medic there and was only able to take down Patty. So I'm not sure how they will approach this now, but it's going to be even Ubers, and they've got to make something work here to take the point back.
I'm wondering if we're perhaps cursing Balls by commenting on how they're ahead in time almost every single time they are, because now Froyo is only ahead or behind, I should say, by 10 seconds. These Ubers are getting exchanged on the point, though, which is more important. The Balls Uber is going to fade much earlier. froyotech taking a more defensive position on top of the point, though. They just want to bait in players that are getting too greedy. Soldier going to be bombing in. That's going to be high 5 going down. Now Patty jumping towards this scout on the point. That's going to be 3 players for Froyo dying, though. Laz, Habib, and Patty, all 3 going down. Now Banny as well. That's going to be Slemnish finding that pick. Hubada does survive. That's the one good thing for Froyo right here, but they got absolutely clobbered here. They do get their spawners in a good enough time. Banny does have his spawn advanced ever so slightly, but for the time being, Balls team maintains control of the point, and the times will even out. Banny once again up on Spy.
Yeah, Banny is up on Spy. Gonna try to do it again. Oh no. That's so painful. You know, twice it has to be tilting at this point for the Balls side. How are they going to react to this? It looks like they're sending it forward, probably trying to get on Hubada. We do have Jay all the way behind, as well as Slemnish. High 5 is kind of on the point as well, jumping forward. So the Uber has been forced off. This is what the Ball team needed. They needed to at least get one frag, get the force off, so they couldn't be forward held against. And now the Ball team are going to have really good spawns. And look at this, Laz has a really slow spawn, so this is a perfect chance for the Ball team to take a fight with player advantage. And it looks like they're going to start doing that on the Cliff side as they have all of their players up. Artist shooting the lock and load over, trying to find an early frag. The Balls team, they got to press it while they're ahead. Laz is going to roll out very quickly, so this is their chance. They do send a soldier forward. Dingo as well, doing so much damage onto these players. And Jay finds a frag onto Habib. Dingo finds one onto Laz. People are collecting health packs, but it's not looking good for the Ball team. Their health is so low.
Yeah, and it's just Dingo alive. I don't think he's going to be able to touch. More focused on fighting that scout there than putting his body on the point. But even if he did, it would not matter. And that is going to be map 1. Balls team has fallen on their own map pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So we move on to froyotech's pick next up.
Yeah, we are going to be moving on to Froyo's Tech Smack pick, as well as probably the Analyst desk pretty soon here. But that was a super exciting game, 4-3, and we saw how many rounds hit overtime, probably at least 4 of them, or maybe 3 of them, but they were all super close rounds. So I understand why the Ball team picked product now. We were kind of questioning that a bit after G6 beat them on it, but showed it was a good map for them.
I mean, G6 beating a team on product, sky is blue. Are we really surprised that G6, the Koth team ever, has beaten the teams on the most Koth map of all time? I don't know how, I don't remember how much of a fight they put up against G6. Balls team put up against G6, but against froyotech, which is widely regarded as one of the, or I guess not one of the, but the best team in North America. Putting up 3 rounds against them, they're definitely showing they deserve to be at this LAN, and they're showing that they're not ones to be underestimated. But we're going to throw it over to our Analyst desk really quick and let you hear their thoughts on the match.
Yeah, exciting match. I'm joined again by Ben and now Marmaloo, new face here on the couch. I suppose first things first, I mean, what were your guys' thoughts on that map overall?
That was one of the most intense games of product I've seen in a long, long time. I don't know, both teams came out to fight, and this could have been like, I don't know, this could have gone either way. At the end, it goes so down to the wire, and like both teams, it was a real tug of war the whole way through. And I think like, I don't know, both teams stepped up, and like, I don't know, the crowd in the venue, there was a bit of a partisan crowd, shall we say. A lot of people in that crowd were behind the Balls team, and they're pretty disappointed it didn't go their way, but they put up a blooming good fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with like, especially there were some close scenarios where just being a pug team where they're not as refined, but yeah, Jay, all the plays, overall, just a really good showing, and especially in their game versus G6, those rounds were really close. This is a tough game to lose, especially against Froyo. That's their map pick, where it's a long road back, especially being the underdog, going into a map like Metalworks where what you're probably going to see is just instant aggression in the first second of mid and just locking you out. And it's a lot on the soldiers who, they don't really play soldier that much to establish themselves there. But overall, that Viaduct map, insane, down the wire.
I think a sort of Well, that map overall was very indicative of how Koth in general and Koth rounds can kind of get away from you, because there were many times that Ball's team were up, and sometimes up a lot, and it slipped away because it's hard to cap the point, and you need to do it at some point.
Yeah.
Sooner rather than later.
Not just that too, like it's the fine margins on a Koth round now. Like there's sometimes it's like they have an Uber ad and they take a proactive Uber, and it's just slightly wrong, and then suddenly what would be a full advantage in a fantastic situation, it just crumbles and it's round losing, even if there's like a ton of time on the clock, because you get stuck in that rut, like you say, if you're down on Uber, you're constantly trying to push through, you're constantly getting your med killed, you're like getting a force off, but it's like you're losing all your players, and the time just ticks and ticks, and it's a game of these fine margins on Koth, and in a 4-3, it literally just come down to like a couple of pushes going different, and this is a completely different map.
Yeah, Benny with the hero play twice,
Yes.
backstabs on the med, just heartbreaker. And that's in your head, so next map probably won't happen as much. But yeah, Viaduct, I think the main thing is the flank of Froyo, who's historically always just there pushing the pace. They were not. Ball's land team was actively doing things where a lot of it was like salvage plays, making things happen. Benny and the rest of the squad kind of coming through. But overall, Ball's team showing out really well, and excited to see what they do on a map like Metalworks. But it's not their pick.
Yeah, that's the thing. You'd want to see them do better on their map pick. They want to win on their map pick, obviously. On the topic of the Banny Spy, I do want to sort of bring up off classes in general, because Product is historically known as a sniper map. And we saw a bit of that. We saw Jay try it a couple times. One of it was a little less successful. The other was better positioned, won a little more time. But Spy was a very well-positioned class in this game. And it can be hard to find those kind of timings, but it honestly was game-changing, where finding the stab on Zilly with 20 seconds left for each team, I mean, what can you do about
It's
that?
the extra thing as well. If you're saying the timing's good, like on a map like Product, you don't see Spy that often. It's obviously not unheard of, but like you're not expecting it as much as you would be on like some Last Stalemate or another map. Like it really catches people out. And Spy, you're just relying on the element of surprise, right, at the end of the day. And if you can catch people out like Manny does, like multiple times in this game, it's like in 20 seconds each. That's heartbreak.
Yeah, it's a Viaduct's just chaotic. It's like you gotta wait for the people to jump through the door. There's a sniper main, the spy's behind. It's just crazy with all the timings. But yeah, just losing in that way is just like a heartbreak. You went all that way just to have nothing. And
There's
now
also
they
the other heartbreak as well is I don't know if I saw the final stat, but like I remember the casters calling out sometime in the 5th round that like wasn't Jay on like 40 odd frags, like
he got like 50
20
plus.
something. Yeah, I want to know how much he finished on. Like, do you have a number on that? Like
I don't have the logs available. Logs are broken, we're being told, but we're gonna find
It was in the
it was I can imagine
Yeah,
it
it
being
was
pretty
50-ish.
crazy. Jay had a fantastic map.
That was crazy.
It was
for Jay Hyun Pei, to my producer here.
yeah. We're crunching the numbers.
I mean, I was kind of expecting something like that. Jay's just gonna run around and kill everything. I was actually watching from behind the artist's shoulder, and he's also just the GOAT. So it was
crazy.
It was very nice to see. I actually was watching some of Zilly's POV as well, and he was putting the moves on, I gotta say. It's unfortunate when because obviously as a med, on Koth specifically, your life is so important. So you want to be making sure that mechanically you can live in situations where other medics can't. But then when it's something as simple as a spy play that you just don't expect and no one else expects, like that hurts. Because yes, you could maybe, well, especially for the second spy or something, you can maybe be thinking about it, but it's so difficult that man, it's hard to assign blame for something like that.
Yeah, for sure. I guess the thing for Ball's team right now is as hard as it is, they kind of got to put this behind them. This was map 1. It was their pick. I know it was close. It could have gone either way, but they're going to have to show up now as best they can. They showed they can fight against Froyo. They showed they could take rounds. They showed, honestly, they could have won that game.
Oh, yeah.
On another day, that could have 100% gone their way, but now Metalworks, I don't know. As far as coming from a European standpoint, when us Europeans play Metalworks, it is about the polar opposite to what you get on Product. It is the slowest, grindiest, sending soldier sacks, everything grinds to a halt. The complete opposite to what you get on Product. So it's going to be a bit of a change of pace. And it's how these times, I don't know, after you spend 45 minutes just hurling yourselves at the enemy, constant aggression, to go into these slow, grindy games, it could be a bit of a switch of pace.
Wow.
Yeah.
We are being told 54 kills out of Jay.
Yeah, 27 deaths, 2 KD with 54 kills.
Yeah.
Something light for him. But yeah, going to Metalworks, like I was talking earlier, mid is the only place that is crazy. The rest of it is slow, like you're saying. There's some flank pushes, but sniper's not too good. There's a lot of things you can do, but a lot of it is people are in front of other people. What can you do about it? And it's going to be an interesting way to see. And with a Froyo pick, this is how they kind of establish themselves. Like, this is our map. But looking weak on Viaduct is going to open some doors if some of those other teams feel confident they can potentially challenge them on that map.
Yeah, I think I do agree with you, Ben, that Ball's team really shouldn't be thinking about this previous map because it is so easy to be thinking of the what ifs because there were a lot of what ifs.
So many.
And they very easily could have won a map like that. But if they're thinking about that while rolling out, while playing that first mid on Metalworks, I mean, we saw how thin of the margins that product came out to be. Now imagine if you stay around because you're still lingering on the previous map.
Yeah, I guess we're getting the call that our casting team might be ready, so we might not have to talk on Metalworks for too much longer because we have the map coming up with our casters.
Oh, yeah, we got places to be.
Oh, yeah. All right, we'll send it back to them, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
All right, we got quarter bracket finals here on Metalworks Ball Team versus Froyo. I'm excited for this. I love Metalworks. This was Froyo's map pick coming off of a 4-3 win. I feel like this map kind of suits both teams. There's a lot scouts, soldiers can do. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, like you said, there is a lot that scouts and soldiers can do on this map, but I think demos also have a lot they can do here that goes a little underappreciated. There's a lot of good trap spots. There's a lot of, there's just a lot of good trap spots. There's a lot of places you can hide your stickies, notably in the little crevice between the door that like leads into the hallway to bridge on 2. Hiding your stickies up there. There's a lot of tiny doorways that are super easy for him to just get some traps on and set himself up for a nice stronghold. So there's going to be, I think, a lot of interesting plays that might not make a whole lot of sense here. I think Ball's team might get a little desperate as we get closer and closer to the end. As a reminder, we are in the playoff section of the LAN event now, so we are on the infinite overtime config. There is no hard limit anymore. You can't park the bus. You have to play until a team reaches the new win limit.
Yeah, that does make it a lot more exciting, and gonna have to see how they adjust because that configuration does not matter on product. It doesn't matter on the Koth maps. So now the team's gonna have to get used to that. It's definitely an adjustment period if you don't think it's that big of a deal. It really is, because when you're playing on the time limit games, you are looking at the clock constantly. If you're up 2 maps, 2 rounds, you are looking at the clock all the time. On continuous overtime, you can't do that anymore. So it's going to be a mindset change, and it might favor one of these teams, and it might be kind of unexpected which one it does. We do have 12 in the server, so probably going to be readying up soon, as we do have one of the teams ready up right now.
Yeah, at this point, it is just up to the players to hit the Ruppington button and get this show on the road. Again, this is froyotech versus Ball's team for those maybe just tuning in. This is map 2 of a best-of-3 series. Froyotech is up 1 map after beating Ball's team 4-3 on product, which was the Ball's team pick. And, of course, Metal is the pick of Froyo. So I'm thinking, after such a close game, I'm thinking Froyo's probably, they're thinking they need to step it up and really put it into, 5th gear, really try and just put the pedal to the metal, fly their way through this map, and end it comfortably after a very, very close first map.
Yeah, that would definitely be the best thing for their morale, ending on a 5-0 victory, but I have a hard time believing Slemnish and Jay are going to let it be that easy. Of course, they made it really hard on product. I don't know if we went over the logs, not that important, but Jay dropped 54 frags, so, anything could happen on this Metalworks. You don't know how these players are going to perform individually. What is your favorite Metalworks off class on any points? Could be on second, could be on mid, could be on last. Like, what's the...
That's a really good question. I played some Flank Scout for my previous season of RGL in Open. I didn't get to do a whole lot of off-classing on Metalworks, but I did get to do a little bit.
You're safe. We're going live.
Okay, well, we're going live. I don't have to explain my off-classing tendencies to the masses as we move to the first round of Metalworks again. Froyotech and Ball's LAN team with some ex-Froyo talent on their roster and a lot of grinders there that are here to really show that they belong. Right off the bat, Habib has lower, pretty much locked down. A big bomb coming in from Dingo, getting behind them, getting a lot of space made for his team. Patty going to be able to find a pick onto Slemnish, though. High Five and Artist, all three of them are going down. It is one player advantage for Froyotech, and Ball's team with no space, no players. They realize that they have to get out of here if they want to live. Soldier going in, trying to get the sack play, I believe, and isn't going to be successful. Jay also goes in, and I think Zilly just kill-binded after the unfortunate fight that just unfolded there.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't run away, but the Ball team, I guess they came to fight, and that's what they did. 3v4 did not go their way. We do have a sniper who does not hit the shot. Slemnish goes down there. I'm worried Floyo might start to run away with this one. They do have a frag and full ad. It's hard to fail a push when you have kind of every advantage you can name. Uber now comes through, not quite finding a frag, but Banny is behind the point. The other team is corralled. Banny has their number. He's chasing a soldier, though. Jay actually finds Habib on the other side. Artist and Slemnish cleaning up. Froyo, they had full ad and a player ad. I don't understand, but Banny, he chased a roamer, and it was not the play, apparently.
Yeah, I'm at a loss for words, really. I mean, obviously, you know, a team can't be perfect. They're going to make mistakes, but that was one of that had to be a very well secured win just from the amount of advantage they had alone. Uber ad, player ad, the speed ad. They had a lot of things going for them. They had that, you know, snowball effect going in their way or going in their favor, and I guess they just lost their grip on the wheel and spun out. Laz goes down, so does Banny. So this is one player ad for the Balls LAN team, and they are looking to push into Froyo's second, or at least take a little bit of space. High Five through with his scout, meeting up with his beam in Valley. It takes a lot of damage here, and I think they're just going to get two for free. They're not looking to get too aggro. They know that either way, if they're quick or if they're slow on two, they're probably going to have to push into an even last hold, so they're just going to take their time with it.
Yeah, they are, as we see High Five kind of get some vision, knows what the hold is, knows there's no sentry gun, or, well, a level 1 gun only. Jay does go down. High Five as well as they tried to send the sack. Dingo desperately trying to survive. I don't think the Ball team wanted to go down more than 2 there, and they managed to avoid that. Froyo starting to get a little aggressive. You know, it's hard to push out in Metalworks, but they can at least try to do something here as they kind of go this left side. There is this sticky trap there that did not get cleared. Habib down to 50 health on that debt, but somehow the Froyo players kind of managed to break out, but actually Brandsime and Laz do go down, so that's a 2-man player down on the defensive team, which is not what Froyo wanted to see. We do see the Ball team taking advantage of this, taking their Uber into the bridge area. Uber's being traded. Dingo, that's not Dingo, that's Artist jumping onto the lamp, putting stickies on the point, doing whatever he can, and it's going to be Slemnish going down first. Jade taking down Habib. Look at the point time, it is so much. They've got to stop it, but they can't. The Ball LAN team takes it on Froyo's map pick.
The first round being won by your enemy on your map pick has to be a bit of a negative sign. I think Froyotech is going to take this and say, hey, no. They're going to wag their finger at him and say, no more of these no more horsing around. They're gonna have to step it up here. I don't think they played badly at all. I think they, you know, did well. The only thing is that they just flubbed their massive ad push and weren't able to convert the round in their time, and I think that kind of just threw them off. But going into this mid, some good damage coming out from froyotech. Grand Slam actually going to get taken down very early on, though, so that kind of offsets the damage, allows Balls team to get themselves healed, and it's going to be Banny escorting Hubada out as Patty is dead. A lot of players chasing into Froyo's alley, but I don't think it really matters. High Five is under the bridge, could jump up from behind them, but is getting pinched by Banny. They know he's there. High Five will get taken down by Habib. A nice pipe to seal the deal, and that will even out the player count and Uber count. And froyotech looking to push into this mid as they know they'll have the player advantage with High Five coming up late.
Yeah, they are, or they're trying to just sack, but it's going to be an Uber trade as Habib. No, not an Uber trade. Habib just gets dropped, or at least left out, maybe not dropped. Zilly, though, goes down at the end of this. Granny and Brandslam finding two, so, you know, taking an Uber for the other team demo. Got the demo, haha, but your medic's dead, your combo scout's dead. I don't know if that's what they wanted. Banny now leading it up through the lobby side, and probably just going to see Froyo take this point for free. I don't know how much of a resistance the Ball Land team can put up, but they are certainly trying. Dingo is stuffing top right very effectively with those rockets, but Froyo finally breaks through. Dingo actually staying in, though, trying to catch out these soldiers who push forward, and Banny taking down High Five is... Oh, trades are actually happening here. The Ball Land team is comfortable staying in because of them, and Artist finds Brandslam and Patty because of that. Really surprising that the Ball Land team kind of just stood at the doors, baited Froyo into trying to pressure them, and the Ball Land team took those players down as they kind of overextended.
Yeah, Ball's Land team really capitalized on the overextension of those froyotech players, and they're making their presence known. They're already on two, or at least Dingo is. Froyotech going to be taking this Uber in. They know they have that ad. They know they have to get Zilly early on lest this Uber become a nothing burger. They are going to get Zilly in it. Habib going to be able to clean it up after picking up Jay, but they do die. And now for the remaining players of Balls, they have to search for Hubada and see if they can get onto him, and I don't think they're going to be able to. Slumnish, I believe, just tried to go in there, but immediately gave up on it, realizing that he'd have to fight a 1v3 in a super enclosed area. It's just not worthwhile, and we have to watch as Balls Land team pulls back and sets themselves up on mid, potentially for some kind of sack or I guess bomb as Froyo pushes in. But Froyo's steadily building on two, and I guess we'll have to see what they do with the super ad.
Yeah, I'm kind of expecting them to take it slow through alley, but they can always take it fast. So far, they've kind of pushed the players back on the resupply shack. We have High Five spamming it down as Habib shoots those stickies over, taking over that position. Froyo actually insta-pops it, jumps straight over, and it looks like High Five is caught out from that. Habib thought about jumping forward, but ends up strafing back, doesn't want to go too far, apparently. Froyo has to be careful because, again, we see Zilly in a leapfrog situation, full ad. High Five is down, so a little bit of caution has to be paid to that, but it looks like the Balls Land team does not care at all about that. They are in lobby. They know Froyo has spotted them, and they're going to be sending it through one of these doors. It looks like it's top left as the Uber's popped. Artist is actually trying to cut the team off. Look at this. Froyo has been cut completely off, and Jay gets on them. Artist gets on them. Frags are being traded now, and it looks like Habib has kind of gotten the worst end of this one, and I think the Ball Land team actually left their medic out to dry as Laz takes down Zilly. On Laz, there's a 1v1 happening as High Five takes down Brandslam. Slemnish is fighting it out, but Slemnish actually loses to Patty. That is really bad there. That kind of seals the end of this fight.
Yeah, that is the most concrete end to a fight I think I have laid eyes on, aside from that one round on Product where it was just an instantaneous mid-win for Froyo. And with Slemnish dying there, that kind of just signals the players on Froyo to start their push forward. They can start taking space in alley. They can start trying to pressure. They don't really need to send a sack, although it's not going to be a horrible idea if they do. They're going for the demo. A lot of damage coming out from Laz. Dingo's actually going to take himself down. Hubba going to get taken down by High Five there, so no Met alive for froyotech, and it's just Brandslam. Wait a minute. Brandslam is in on Zilly. It's just one shot that needs to seal the deal, and he gets taken down by Jay.
Yeah, what a great shot by Jay. Brand Slam so close to taking down the medic, but guess what? Zilly is going to be retaining this full Uber advantage. Not quite full ad, 80 ad, might as well be full. So we're going to see the ball land team in another position to win a round, as finally they have ad, finally they are pushing into second. They're not on the defensive side of this round anymore. I feel like this is the same story we've gotten every round, where the balls land team starts off on defense, Froyo can't break through, and now it's the balls land team pushing it towards Froyo again. We're gonna see a Spanny sniper. This might be a bit of an issue. It might stifle the aggression, but we are gonna see the Uber instantly popped, ground taken through bridge, as Banny sees nothing on his scope. Actually does see an Ubered player, might get a sight onto the medic as he slowly inches around the corner, does see the medic but not able to hit, only hits a body shot. The point has not quite been capped yet, but the ball land team is fighting over this tooth and nail. Jay trying to slowly cap the point, as Banny again is being such a menace. This must be so annoying to deal with, but I think the ball land team is eventually just going to manage to cap it up.
Yeah, Ball's land team is looking to just really bully Froyo out of their own point here. That is going to be a pick from Habib onto Slumnish. Jay dies as well, so there's no scouts alive for the Balls team, and they might think there's someone behind, and there is someone behind. I'm not sure who it is. It's going to be High Five as we look at him jumping towards the beam. Misses the spoon! Oh, no.
Yeah, that was our... I almost thought he was going to get that. That was crazy. I can't believe he kind of juked Banny a little bit there. Either way, we're back on mid. Froyo defending it. I'm looking at Laz, who's kind of jumping around, just making some space. Habib as well, putting traps up on the top right. Air shot attempt, not landed, unfortunately. Patty taking a 1v1 in the house area as the flank players fight it out, but Patty trades it out, actually. Jay is now pushing it through the alley side, wants to take down the froyotech second defense as he just runs up to the point. He sees everything. Jay is hitting every scattergun shot. Goodbye, Banny. That's a 1-2 for you. And Jay almost takes down the medic there, does so much damage. Slim is just trying to chase it up, and the Uber has been forced off. This Uber is an absolute disaster for Froyo. It's not going to find anything, dare I say. I think this means Balllands team is really in a great spot here.
Yeah, Ball's team is in a fantastic situation right now. We still have 18:30 left on the match clock. We're still sitting with a good chunk of time to spare before that infinite overtime kicks in. But right now, they're up in the count, and that's what really matters. They're trying to, play off of the momentum that round win gives them. And we already see Froyotech is committed to setting up to this last. I mean, they kind of have to. They're down a lot of Uber, about 35% ad for Ball's team. I think they're just going to rip it here, and yes, they will. Artist gets levitated. The gun goes down very, very early on, though, and the levitation of Artist actually gives Zilly a lot of time to flash some other players. It is going to be Jay, or it is going to be Laz, Patty, now Brandslam, now Habib. It's 3 players down for Ball's team, but they have an advantage. It's Artist dying, but I don't think it matters. Banny's the last one on the point. Will he win against Zilly? But he won't! Zilly wins!
That is crazy. Zilly takes it down with the solemn vow. That's 2-0 for the Balls Land team on Froyo's pick. Zilly makes a message there. He says, I don't care that I'm not on a combat class. I might be a soldier at heart, but I can still take Banny down with the solemn vow.
That is a legacy play if I have ever seen one. Oh my goodness. The kill to win the round with the head. How often do you see that?
I don't know, maybe the last time. I don't know, I can't come up with it. Either way, we are on a new mid, new map, new mid, new me, as they say. We got Patty rolling out, getting health packs. Laz is here too, shooting down top right. Somehow just takes Dingo down. I don't know how that's even possible, but Laz makes it work as Froyo seemingly newly reinvigorated as they run it down. They take all the space, they take all the frags. They are now going to be running into second off of that player ad.
Yeah, Froyotech, a very different song being sung. Wait a minute, High Five going in, isn't going to be able to get anything though. Hubba still at 150, and like I was saying, yeah, I think Froyo is singing a very different song here, much different mid than the ones we are accustomed to so far, that take a little while, that end up with half of each team dying, and end up with Balls team and coming out on top usually. Uber does come out from the Balls team, and so does it too from froyotech. It looks like it's going to be a little bit better for the Balls team here, but with 3 players down, there's only so much they can do. One of those players dying after the Uber faded, I believe, shortly after. And this is froyotech with a very good position to at least just try and fight to dry, especially with this player ad. They have 3 seconds to get themselves a foothold and find some extra picks, but Habib has died, is gonna get traded out by Banny finding high five. Patty will go down, Laz finds Jay, and an air shot to seal the deal onto Artist. Silly gonna get another head kill onto Laz. Banny dies, Brand Slam taking down Slemnish. It's just the Soldier here and the Beam to defend Laz, and they're actually gonna be successful. Dingo is going to force out Hubada, Brand Slam, and Balls team will hang on by the skin of their teeth for the time being.
Yeah, fortunately for Dingo, Brand Slam kind of only had pistol left, but we do see the Uber come out as Froyo kind of has a big ad here. We see Pyro up as they try to stall out the point. Wait for Uber. Will they get it in time? Arrow lands on the Pyro, but I don't think it's enough. 97%, not quite there. Froyo finally takes a map, finally takes a round on the map that they chose, and I'm going to be honest, that was a really close round. Froyo, they still managed to pull it out, and it kind of all started with the mid. I think Ball's land team has kind of lost every mid, if I'm not mistaken, so they need to get this corrected, because if Froyo starts converting their mid wins into round wins, it's going to be a problem. Ball land team, they got to figure out these mids.
Yeah, Ball's team has... I don't want to say they're struggling, because they are putting up a good fight on each mid. They're just not able to convert the things they're getting into a win. And that's what's, I mean, that's what we just saw differently from Froyo here. They got a mid win, they got a round win off of it. Patty goes high, isn't able to find anyone from it. Jay pushing under the point, gonna get a lot of good damage onto Habib, and I believe a Soldier that's now in house. The Soldier gonna be bombing forward onto the balcony, the red side balcony. It looks like Ball's team has just pushed Froyo out of their own mid. They ate the space that was there, they took it all for themselves, and they only had to do that with 1 pick. They only got Laz.
Yeah, I was on high fives cam that mid. He just stood on the high ground and spammed, and Froyo, they had a really tough time getting up on the high ground, so Ball's land team, they figured it out. They got this, and now they can try to convert. It looks like they're starting off by going through alley, maybe want to do some sort of play. Slemnish is an underpass who has been spotted, though. So we have Dingo high bombing over, landing on the medic, hitting 1 good rocket. Dingo and Jay do go down, going for that play. We have high five defending the alley, the lobby side, who has to jump away as Froyo takes it over. Banny catches a pill in there, so Ball land team is doing a really good job holding it down, but Froyo is hungry. Froyo has broken into mid. We are probably going to see some sort of Uber exchange as Slemnish pops. Slemnish is getting on the scout, takes down Brand Slam. Uber has finally been traded for both sides, but this Uber is way better for Hubada. It looks like Silly is stuck under the point, and Ball land team kind of sold out here, and it might work out for them. It's 3v3 as Dingo, actually Artist took down Laz. This played off well for Ball land team.
Yeah, Ball's land team, at the beginning of it, it looked like they drew the short stick, but I guess they kept pulling and the stick kept, you know, coming out. I guess they were the winners of that draw, and they were able to come out on top of that fight. As much as it looked like they should have lost, they didn't care. They didn't care what it looked like, and they converted that to a fight win. And now what really matters is if they're going to be able to push into second and make something out of it, or if they're just going to have to allow Froyo to believe it. Banny dying to the trap set up by Artist here, so that's definitely going to slow down Froyo. In spite of the fact that they have the Uber, I don't think they're going to push, especially now that they're down there. I would assume Banny's on their main call.
Yeah, you mentioned in the pregame you can put traps up in that house, in the crevices, in the vents, and that's exactly what we saw. Maybe not the exact location, but basically what we saw. We do see Ball's land team in alley side as they're going to try to do that force attempt that earlier did not go so well for them. This time it looks like they're going to be sending Dingo again, so kind of the same start. This time it looks like he did a lot more damage to Patty this time. High five does go down as he goes behind. Dingo It's going to be holding down house again. So it's kind of the same situation as we saw last time, but this time it's no longer down 2. It's only down 1. So Froyo's going to have a much harder time breaking through these doors, but they're still trying. They're sending Laz and their flank scout to go through top left, but they end up deciding to cancel it. They don't want anything to do with this Metalworks mid.
Yeah, I think froyotech is deciding to play much safer here. They have the safety net of A, winning that first round, and B, having the burden of aggression being on Ball's team. It's on Ball's team to send in a sack. It's on Ball's team to try and get Hubba to force or drop. And really, froyotech doesn't have to do anything. They could just kick up their feet and, you know, play for the round reset if they really wanted to. I mean, there's 50 seconds left on the clock as we very quickly approach the end of this round. I think Ball's team is looking to maybe send something through lower, but wait a minute. Jay's up on Sniper, going to be peeking through Valley. Is spotted very early, though.
We have a flank shove as Patty goes through back door, gets air shot by Artist. What a great lock and load shot there as we have Laz and Patty down. You know, 2 soldiers for the sack. It's not terrible, but and Froyo actually finds a frag onto Dingo, so now this is wonderful. That's essentially a 1-person sack for the Force. And Froyo, it looks like they want to go through alley, but they end up backing up. Maybe they're worried about a flank wrap. Maybe they just want to let the round reset, as the co-caster mentioned. It looks like Banny, I don't think they want a round reset. Otherwise, why would they be in lobby? They're just popping Uber very early.
Oh my God,
actually.
Habib is in deep.
Yeah.
Habib just launched himself. Hasn't been able to find any kills for it. Maybe the soldier. Oh, they forgot to stand on the point.
Yeah. Or, you know, it's also possible that maybe they looked at the start of that Uber and were like, I don't know, we're not wiping them. Let's just let it reset.
Maybe. That could be a thing, but from the way Habib just went in, I had figured that even if they didn't wipe them, they would have a nice hold on mid. They would have a lot of forward traps, the ability to position players in a more forward manner, that they would just go with it. So to me, that looks like they maybe just something got crossed in the comms and they weren't standing on the point as they should have been. But I guess we'll have to find out later on a later date, I should say. Moving into this mid, though, it looks like the health for Froyo is actually worse. Ball's team does have some players under health here, and Dingo will go down. Branson going to be able to find that pick. Laz going to be able to find Silly. That's going to free pretty hard for Ball's land team to come back from. They're going to have to try and throw everything they can at Hubba, who I believe is long gone. Or actually, maybe not. Where is Hubba? They should be with Banny on mid here, I think.
Yeah, Hubba is with Banny on mid with 100% Uber, as Zilly is only on 10% because Zilly went down during that mid fight. So Froyo not only won the mid, but they retained full Uber advantage. So again, Froyo, they are in a really handsome position to win a round here. They're going to have to get into second at least somewhat cleanly, would I would imagine be their goal. However, at this point, they're not going to have Uber at for last, only for second. So let's see if they decide to take it slow or fast. They are going to be going in through the alley side where there's sticky traps, and Artist takes down Brandslam with a wonderful det, probably spotted through underpass. So excellent communications by the team there. Banning still wants to take the Uber. Habib's jumping it in, but do they find anything? It looks like there's a soldier jumping out of house, but this Uber, it did not find anything.
Yeah, this was a nothing burger Uber, and this is going to be the counterpop from Ball's land team. They actually curve towards lower. They spotted Habib down there, I believe, and they wanted to try and collapse on him. And he died long before the players, I think, even curved down. But it looks like Hubba going to be all the way out. Oh, he gets taken down. A nice pipe from Artist to seal the deal as Dingo finds Banny. It's going to be Ball's land team establishing themselves on mid here, reclaiming it. Possibly going to get some space on 2, though I don't know if they'll really be able to do anything. They might just be able to spot through Valley at most.
Yeah, they can, but, you know, maybe they can send a sack. It looks like based off their posturing, they're not going to do anything like that. But they do act. Ooh, they have a soldier in ramp room. Soldier spotted in ramp room is actually going for the sack. And Froyo is actually fighting this tooth and nail here. Banny gets taken down. Jay gets that kind of traded out for Froyo. But, you know, oh, pipe kind of across the map. Really good shot by Artist. Ubers are coming into play where Zilly has full ad. The Uber actually gets popped. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but hey, they popped it. They're sending it in, maybe trying to cut off these Froyo players. I don't think this Uber will find... Oh, Slemnich actually takes down Habib. I didn't realize he was able to dive that far. Really impressive by him. And with that, this is going to be a comfortably secured second point. It looks like Froyo wants to get into lobby, but I don't know why they're taking so much damage doing that. I think the Balls LAN team kind of has all these doors on lockdown, and Froyo really just can't get in.
Yeah, I mean, even though Froyo has the Uber to play with here, they tried to push themselves out of a door that was already locked down. I mean, we saw Banny try and fight the soldier that was actively watching the door. So, I mean, that probably wasn't the greatest door to try and push out. If they're actually going to rip it anyway, Habib hits the wall with the pipe, so he's not really going to be able to get a lot of damage. He does isolate Artist, who has to leave through drop down, but is going to recommit through Valley, and so too is the rest of his combo. The rest of Balls LAN team is looking to push forward. They know that the rest of froyotech is going to be playing back, and they're going to hold on to the Super for as long as possible. Habib finds High Five, and Banny will find Slemnich. That's 2 players down on Balls. Uber will come out as they chase in through lobby. That's going to be Brand Slam going down to Artist, and they know that there are a lot of froyotech players behind, but where behind, I'm certain that Balls team has no idea, and Froyo's pretty much pinching them now. The remaining players of Balls team are caught in a very, very unfortunate position.
Yeah, they are, and they don't have enough time to try to get Uber. Froyo is just chasing them down so aggressively as Artist tries to take down Habada, gets cleaned up. Habib not able to find any frags here, but he did participate in that fight as Froyo basically wipes Ball LAN team. Froyo now has about 5 minutes left to win a round, and that's plenty of time when you have full ad, the other team's wiped. There is a player hiding in alley, and if I'm not mistaken, no one from Froyo actually went that way, which is really surprising because this back cap was overlooked, and it's so bad for Froyo because it's going to cost them so much time. Slemnich is running away, and now Froyo, I don't think they can push mid anymore. But they're actually capping it. Maybe the respawn situation wasn't good enough for Ball LAN team to push that.
Yeah, I'm thinking the respawn situation just wasn't good enough for Balls team to actually do anything. This Uber will get popped, but it will find nothing. Banny does chase down into Valley, trying to find that player in Lunchbox. I don't think he was able to find it, though. Maybe he peeled away. Slemnich pushing into mid. 27 HP here, as a lot of players on Froyo are looking to establish their presence on 2. Banny getting juggled. Slemnich will die to Patty, but that's going to be traded out by Dingo. Laz looking to potentially pinch any players caught in lobby, but there's no one there for him. Makes his way to the point. Froyotech going to be setting themselves up on second. They know they're at disad. It's going to be Laz taking the fight with Dingo in-house and will be successful. That will be a nice pick for them to have.
Yeah, it's a very nice pick for Froyotech to have their roamer winning that one. Again, with so little time on the clock, it's such a critical moment for Froyo to win a round. They have to take the round here or the timer. Oh, it's continuous overtime actually, so, but it's still an important time. It's a good chance for them to tie the game. We are gonna see Uber's situation equalize here as Froyo decides to slow it down. They know they can't just take it in when it's even Ubers. Probably gonna see some sort of pressure cooker. If I had to guess, we're gonna see some sort of scout run in and soldier bomb through main, but I don't know because Froyo has all sorts of crazy strats for breaking last. We've seen them do like 3-man sacks and 4-man sacks this LAN, so maybe they'll do one of those.
Yeah, it's entirely possible that we see Froyo pull out something that I wouldn't say is necessarily unorthodox, but just a little uncommon, something you don't see run very often, but it's still very successful when executed correctly. Slemnich trying to get the sniper pick, but just isn't able to, is getting focused down. Will they live is the real question. It is going to be High Five finding Patty. The gun does go down for the side of Balls LAN team, though I think they're going to be able to rebuild it. With Patty being dead, there's just no real way for Laz to throw anything in. This isn't product. You can't get away with, you know, another single soldier sack that, you know, gets Zilly to use.
Yeah, you can't get away with just those single soldier sacks, and Slemnich is on sniper, which is going to make the Froyotech side's life really miserable here as they try to slowly pressure these doors. How can you do that when there might just be a sniper around the corner? And so that's going to be something Froyo has to take in mind. And Slemnich isn't just being passive, he's being super aggressive, peeking up to the shutter, peeking up to these doors, keeping Froyo on their toes. We see Froyo going through the right side, trying to catch out the roamer as they take High Five down to 20 health. Not quite able to get the frag, and Slemnich, there it is, finds Patty. Like I said, Froyo wants to pressure cook, but it's so hard when there's such a good sniper staring you down. And for Froyo, there's only 2 minutes left for them to work something here.
Yeah, they have, well, as much time as they really need. Again, with that infinite overtime coming into effect, really all it means is Ball's team will have to win one more round. Froyo will have to pick up 2. I'm sure that Froyo is hoping that they can get themselves up 2-2 so they can just have a nice mid to last, wrap up the series in a nice little bow, and breathe a sigh of relief knowing that they didn't get knocked down into the lower bracket and in their first round of playoffs. But Ball's LAN team has been putting up an insane fight and really has been making Froyo fight for every single bit of territory that possibly could be fought for. Patty goes in, is going to get focused down by the sentry, but isn't able to find the pick onto Slemnish there. That's going to be 3 players dead for froyotech, and that's going to signal the end of their push. I'm wondering if Ball's LAN team is going to push out onto mid or push out onto second, or just let the round reset. Because if they let the round reset here, the match time and the round time are about synced up. So with a round reset, they could move on to mid and just maybe they'll have their lucky break, get a good mid to last in. But time will tell. Ubers are even, so it's on Froyo to make the call on what they're going to do.
Yeah, they're pushing out the right side, but they decide to back up. Evidently, they did not like what they see. Maybe just wanted to fake, go to left. Not sure what Banny's thinking, but there are traps above the door he was about to walk through, and he gets dead on by Artist, as Artist finds that frag by looking through that little crack by the sheet metal, which you can see through. Very smart play by Artist. Froyo does Uber in through the right side. Brandsam takes down Dingo. Habib gets the gun down. Uber's finally popped on Zilly, but this Uber is so much better on Ball's LAN team that it would be unthinkable for them to lose. But this fight is going on, and there is a lot of cap time. Anything can happen when so much cap time is on the board. Banny, Habib and Laz and Patty are going in, but it's just not enough. That's probably going to be a round reset. But as I say this, they actually get to the point in time. Froyo might have cursed themselves by trying to cap the point. Artist does go down there, so Ball LAN team just decide it's not worth it anymore. Just let it reset.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, probably not the worst decision with the round timer and the map timer being so in sync. It only makes sense for Balls to let the stalemate happen, let the round reset, let that win limit kick in so that they only have to win one more round to come away with the win on this map. And if they can beat Froyo on Froyo's map pick, that's going to give them a lot of momentum. It's going to give them a lot of, it'll be a good confidence boost, a little bit of team morale boosted there. But early on, good damage coming out from Habib, potentially slowing down Balls ever so slightly, but they might be able to regroup here. But wait a minute, Lad's getting a lot of good damage, has to jump away, but not before he delivers some punishing rockets, getting at least 80 damage onto Artist, and I think Zilly got hit with some of that as well.
Yeah, we do see Slemish eating a pipe, so he's down to very low health. As Ball LAN team, I'm not sure they're in a position to keep going, considering they're down this player. Froyo looks like they want to go through the alley side of things, just going to walk it up slow, maybe do some sort of bomb. They are sending both of their soldiers in, but Patty gets cleaned up by Slemnish. Jay also takes down Laz, so this Froyo sack unsuccessful, and it looks like the side of Ball LAN is going to try to cut them off as they go through house. Froyo's kind of a bit cut off on mid, maybe that's a bit too strong to say, but they were in danger of that at least happening. Jay wants to take the Uber, but he gets stuffed, so this Uber's a little bit worse for the side of Ball LAN. It's going to last longer for Froyo, and with that, everyone's just backing up.
Yeah, everybody is backing up. Ball's LAN team, they do find the pick onto Banny, however. So this might be the catalyst that allows them to push back into mid. Froyotech is getting met with a lot of damage from the players on Ball's LAN team. Artist is going to be able to hit a nice pipe onto Laz and take him down. Slemnish will find Brand Slam as well, so that's 3 players down for the side of Froyotech. That's 2-player advantage for Balls, as I believe Patty has just spawned and is trying to roll out to meet the rest of his team.
Yeah, they are rolling out as he has met his team. Branson respawning 2. We're going to see the Uber situation again, equal. Ball LAN team, they have mid. It seems like Ball LAN team has kind of broken the curse of them not being able to win mids, of them not being able to convert, and dare I say, they just want another mid. This is kind of their chance to take the round. I'm going to expect them to go alley because that's what they've done every single time they've had ad. They haven't really tried to do anything crazy through house. They do spot through underpass, so everyone knows what's up. Everyone knows the other team is going into alley, so this shouldn't be a surprise for anyone here. However, the question is, what's going to happen? Is it going to be a soldier bomb? Is it going to be someone through underpass? Is it going to be an exchange?
Patty's in! The force!
Yeah, Patty gets the force off. I didn't even notice that. And with that, Ball Land team lost their advantage. Froyo is going to be able to do whatever they want. They're going to start by going through house. Probably just going to take the Uber straight through. They are all in top left. Maybe just a fake. Artist far back, sees what's going on, shooting stickies over, and the Uber actually got forced really, really early. High Five is behind, so I'm not sure if Froyo actually likes the Uber they found themselves in.
I don't think they do, especially with Laz still on the respawn clock. I looked over, he was on a 22-second spawn, and he's still waiting to come back. It is High Five in behind. Hubada will be able to find the pick. This is going to give Ball's team full Uber ad if they can manage to keep Zilly alive. Let nobody through any doorway, leave nothing unchecked, leave nothing unwatched, have an eye on everything. And they're actually going to be pushing forward into alley a little bit, trying to take a little bit of space, and I believe that's going to be Dingo and Slemnish trying to fight in house, but they're going to get taken down. Brand Slam is on Ball second, and I think they're looking to get the kill onto Zilly here. They drop! As soon as they get the Uber, they can't use it. You know for a fact Zilly is holding on to right click there, but it's just not enough. As soon as they drop.
Yeah, as soon as they drop. So disappointing for Ball Land. That was their chance to take it in, and now it's Froyo's chance to put it back the other way as they walk up the alley side. There are some sticky traps they have to contend with. Be careful about those. It looks like Habib might have spotted those. Yeah, they do get cleaned up. Froyo 50 ad, just enough to take it. Jay spawning on NG, so I think Ball Land team know what's up. They're going with the Highlander setup. Yeah, they have Pyro as well, preparing to stuff top right. Froyo, they've got to be careful. Even with the best scouts in the world, sometimes you see the Pyro just stuff the entire Uber, and when that happens, it's just a real travesty.
Yeah, I mean, especially if that Pyro is Ubered. Thankfully for Froyo, they are going to be able to just push through. This Pyro should go down relatively quickly. Does get arrowed, which actually saves him. Brand Slam will die, and I don't want to call it early, but this might be a flub push from Froyo. Banny goes down, Patty goes down, now Laz as well. It's only 2 players alive. It's just Habib and Hubada, and that could change rapidly as well. Slumnish is chasing in deep, trying to get the kill onto Habib, and by trying, I mean succeeding in getting the kill on Habib, as Hubada runs away, trying to link up with Brand Slam. Will be successful. They do survive, and Ball's team clings on to life for another MIB.
Yes, they do cling on for life indeed, and not only for life, for thriving. They have full ad as Zilly can do whatever he wants with this Uber. We got Laz on the defense side. Patty as well, jumping in, getting the force as I eat my words. Apparently we just curse every team we gas up for having ad. Zilly immediately gets forced. You know, they got down Patty, now Froyo has ad. It's gonna be another leapfrog situation, as basically the only thing that changed is the red color now holds mid.
Yeah, I mean, this is just constant back and forth, and I don't think the red color is going to hold mid for very long. Extremely early. Oh my goodness, what a bomb from Habib. Just getting in onto Zilly, taking him down very early on. Vanny fighting Slemnish in choke. They're going to be able to win that fight as well. froyotech is looking to push in as deep as they possibly can, but they don't have mid capped. They need to be careful. They have to regroup. They have to, you know, reconsider their options here. They need to get on mid and cap it. They need to regroup, especially after killing 4 players on Ball's team. But it's taken Froyo so long to actually start capturing the point. Now Jay taking the fight with, I believe that's Patty and Brand Slam there, if I'm not mistaken, will lose it. And that's an unfortunate late death to have. 13 seconds to go until he's up.
Yeah, he was kind of a straggler. He wasn't able to fully leave and got hunted down. And so now because of that, Froyo not only has 85 ad, well 40 ad, but they also have a player ad. Laz jumping in, taking all this ground for the team as Froyo, they might just want to take the Uber straight in. I think they still know it's ad. Banny's probably calling it. Habib as well, just walking far left. Looks like they're going to be taking it in through left or main. It's going to be left. Both scouts taking it in. They see the Pyro again. This time they take the Pyro down instantly. They also take down Dingo. They also have Artist in their sights. That's probably a successful push off the back of those scouts, obliterating the Pyro this time. That Pyro did nothing. provide a free frag.
Yeah, that Pyro just could not find the proper position to sit in to end that Uber push, and that ties the game up. It is match point now. Whoever wins this round will be the winner of Metalworks, and obviously Froyotech is going to try everything in their power to make sure it's them, because A, they want to wrap up the series, and B, they want to win on on this map. They just want to take it home.
Yeah, they do just want to take it home. That's a good way to put it. We got the high bombers in for the side of Ball Land Team and Froyo, as we see Laz landing on point here. Brandslam also running it down, so Froyo's just being so aggressive. They can smell the victory. Ball Land Team so hurt as Brandslam chases all of these players down. Patty as well in underpass. Is Zilly gonna escape? He's trying so hard, but I don't think it's gonna matter. Ending up kill binding Ball Land Team. They got put out, but guess what? Guess what? Hubada went down.
Yeah, Hubada did die, which is the saving grace, I guess you could say, for Ball's Land Team. It's not going to buy them everything I think they're hoping for, but they should be able to get their players up, get a little bit of Uber, stored in the bank before Hubada comes up. They get about 15% before Hubada spawns, so it's not crazy. Oh my goodness, Patty and Habib both going to be going down. Now Laz as well, Artist, High Five, and Slemnish finding those picks, and now I believe this is Brandslam getting fought in Valley. Will actually win the 1v1 with Slemnish with 6 HP remaining. Jay trying to hunt him down. It actually will be our Artist finding the pick onto him as Froyotech backs out into their own choke, ready to regroup on their second.
That is exactly what's happening as we have the regrouping and the even Uber situation, even player situation. Everything's even except Ball Land Team holding mid, so I suppose they do have a bit of an advantage there. I'm gonna kind of expect another alley push. It's what we've seen every time. Froyo's kind of punished it every time though, so Ball Land Team, they gotta kind of tidy up these pushes, because Patty, I believe last time just high bombed over and forced Zilly on this play, and they cannot let that happen again, because that would be probably a round ender at this point.
Yeah, if anything were to happen to Zilly right now, I think that would probably just give Froyo the series. Protecting Zilly right now is of utmost importance, because you need to maintain control of that Uber. You need to be able, if you're Ball's team, to try and get in. You have to be able to, push your way into Froyo's Last. That's going to be a bomb coming in from Laz, not going to be able to land onto Artist in the way they want, and Laz will die for it. So will Patty under bridge, getting taken down by Jay. Jay's actually going to find Banny as well. Artist going to be up behind a Beeb. Hold on a minute.
Down four.
Could this be it, is the question. Will Ball's Land Team be able to cap this point and end the game right here, right now? Froyotech doesn't have that many spawners. Uber comes out early. They're pushing the bridge here. The Uber comes out from Ball's team now. High Five looking from Toxic. There's a lot of fighting happening by the spawn. Patty dies early. High Five comes in, takes down Brandslam. Laz goes down. Hubada goes down. Banny goes down. And Ball's team wins the second map. They extend the series to a third game.
Yes, they extend the series to a third game. I'm sure it's what the fans want. Ball Land Team, they say, who cares if we lose on our own map pick? We're just going to beat Froyo on theirs. And that's what we saw, 3-2. I don't think that could have been closer. That was, what, a 45-minute game?
Yeah, about that. And I mean, it again was a one-round game. Koth ended 4-3. This game is going to end 3-2 for Ball's team. I don't know if we're going to be able to send it over to our analyst desk in a little bit. I think
we saw our analyst walking by, actually, as they desperately try to get over there in time.
Yeah.
And so we'll, we'll keep the stream going while that happens. I'm going to be honest, I was stunned. When I saw Froyo, what happened? They had ad, didn't they? After the end of that mid, they had, like, full ad or something. And
yeah, I think so.
They flubbed an Uber push. And then it just got turned around.
Yeah, they completely beefed an Uber push there. It was unfortunate.
Yeah, it was definitely unfortunate. Such a good job. You have to compliment the resiliency of these players, though. You have to remember, everyone in here has been playing for like 10 hours at this point. It's late at night for them, but despite maybe being demoralized, they turned it around and they made it happen.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing with Froyotech here is that they have, I mean, that team specifically, they really have been playing for like 10 hours. In their first game of the day, they lost it. They lost to the Australians. And it's just kind of hard for them to really do anything, I suppose. I don't know. But we're not going to be able to do an analyst desk here. I don't know if we have time for it. But
no, it just means the fans love us so much. We don't need the desk.
yeah. Something like that. Something like that. But, I mean, froyotech just wasn't able to... I don't know what they really weren't able to do. It looked like they performed well, but I don't want to say they couldn't keep up with Ball's team, but I can't really think of another way to describe it. It just seems like they couldn't keep up with Ball's team and really make sure that they were able to clinch the win. So it's a tied series right now, and the next map will decide who gets knocked down into the lower bracket.
Yeah, I have the logs open right now. Maybe that'll provide some clarity. They don't always, but maybe we can take some things away by what went wrong. So far, you know, we do see Artist top damaging, but Habib and Banny are like 10 DPM behind him, so nothing too crazy there. In terms of like the total team overall, 119 kills for Ballland, 112 to Banny, 43,000 damage to 45,000 damage. So I guess the logs kind of just show that this was a close game.
Yeah, this was a very close game, and I actually I have my friend here celebrating the Ball's victory very happily. But yeah, I guess the Balls team has a lot of people rooting for them.
Yeah, they are a fan favorite. You know, the especially cool thing is a lot of the players on that team just haven't played regularly recently. Slemnish, Jay, Slemnish and Jay mostly, and Zilly, they just haven't played a full season in quite a while. And so seeing them again, they have a lot of fans, and we're kind of reminded of that today by the responses of the fans.
Yeah, and I think a good portion of what I think a lot of people here are expecting is that we're just so used to seeing a froyotech victory, froyotech victory, froyotech victory. We're so used to the Froyo dynasty, I suppose some would call it, that, you know, another team coming up and beating them as expected as it maybe should be just feels so out of the blue. It doesn't feel right, but I guess in this sense, things are going exactly the way a lot of the fans want it to. And I know there's a little bit of animosity between a lot of TF2 players and froyotech, but, you know, they're the best for a reason.
Yeah, there's a target on their back. You could say the animosity is because this team simply won the most, and whenever you win that much, there's going to be people who want to see you get taken down eventually. That's just how it is in every game, I think. Froyo is just TF2's version of that, and we're kind of seeing that as this LAN. It feels like everyone sees Froyo as the team to beat, and seeing it happen live, casting it as well, is kind of just a surreal experience, as this is like the third time today I've kind of seen it happen. Yeah,
I mean, this is my first time today being looking at a Froyo game, seeing them get taken down on a map, especially in a game that close. Usually when you watch a Froyo game, they're dominating. They're going pretty crazy. They're putting up very good stats, and really, the stats were super even in that previous game and in the game before it. Every player had an opportunity to perform. Every player had an opportunity to shine. I mean, there were so many fantastic plays from every single person in that lobby. It's hard to really narrow it down to one specific player, one specific team. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, especially just looking like Metalworks. I tried to find something to highlight, but it's like I would just be pulling at straws if I was like, oh, you have 10 damage more per minute. It's just not relevant.
Yeah.
Every player in this server is showing why they're here, and it was so close. Now, for the third map, we are on 5 CP again. We will not have Koth again. It is Sunshine, which is definitely... It's kind of cool having products, Metalworks and Sunshine, because all of these maps are a bit different from each other. It's not like we have Process Sunshine. It's Metalworks Sunshine for the CP map. So it's going to be really cool seeing how these teams' different styles come out here.
Yeah, and I think I like what you said here, how every map is in some way different from one another. Metalworks is definitely a mid where you meet head on, you clash a lot more. You do a lot more bombs and things like that. Sunshine, you do a lot more rotations. You can meet each other head on if you both decide, hey, we want to go mid, or let's just meet the other team and not rotate. But a lot of the time you're going to be rotating on Sunshine. Maybe you'll send in a high bomb or two, maybe you'll have your roamer go fast, but most of the time you're going to see a rotate mid. And of course, in stark contrast to Product, where it's just, hey, is the other team running a sniper?
Yeah.
Let's nuke that guy. Are they not? Let's nuke them anyway, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. Sunshine, probably more balanced of the two is kind of how I would put it. And I'm kind of expecting... I actually don't know what to expect because, like you said, you can, even though it's a more balanced map, you can be so aggressive on it. And we saw that on Metalworks a lot, but it's just a little bit harder on Sunshine to do that. And so both teams might elect to be passive, but I don't know. It's late at night. They might just like they might just be like, let's go off the rails. We're just sending it in. We're too tired to play super passively here. Just go in. If we hit our shots, we're taking the win.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if that's the way they're thinking, I don't blame them. It is currently, 22 hours or 10 o'clock Mountain Daylight Time, which means it is midnight on the East Coast. We have done quite a lot of gameplay today, and these two teams are. They're going for each other's throat. I don't think, maybe if some punches were getting pulled or, there was a strat that maybe some players were holding back on either Product or Metal, that goes out the window now. They want to end it. They want to go to their hotel. They want to get dinner. They want to go to bed. They just want to end this night. And obviously, whichever team wins is going to be ending it much happier than the other, but...
I think you might have forgotten one thing. I think before they go to bed, they want a demo review for 2.5 hours. And although maybe might be a tough sell, but they're gonna try maybe.
Maybe they'll limit their demo review time to just 2 hours for tonight.
Yeah.
Get to bed a little bit early so they could be well rested for the day to come.
Yeah, we'll see. Either way, definitely impressive. For context, our schedule got kind of compressed a bit, so these teams have been playing with really reduced break times. Like every game, some games they only had like a 5-minute break between them. Each team's played 8 or 7 games today, and then the BO3, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be the 10th game now for these teams.
Yeah, there were 7 rounds before we were put on here for the upper bracket final, and there was actually supposed to be a 15-ish minute break slotted between those, and also a tiebreaker after the 7th round. Obviously, we didn't need to do a tiebreaker, no tie in the invite bracket, but we've had to delay a couple things, and everything has just been playing out so incredibly fast that these teams really haven't had a chance to rest. I'm sure fatigue has been setting in for a little while now, and if it hasn't already, it definitely will hit either during this game or after it.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Why not? My player to look out for, I think on the side of the Ball Land team, I think it's going to be Artist. I know Sunshine isn't always like the #1 demo map, but I feel like if the lock and load makes an appearance, it'll be for Artist, and it will be on this map. And that's my player to look out for on the Balls Land team.
Yeah, and I think, I guess, my player to look out for, looking at Froyo, I would have to say probably Patty. People call him Chatty for a reason. He has been known to make some crazy plays, but we are going live to the first round of Sunshine. This is the final map in the upper bracket quarterfinal between froyotech and Balls Land team. It is a tied series. Whoever wins this game takes home the dub. Whoever loses gets knocked into the lower bracket to play tomorrow. Vanny, very early on, going to be fighting a soldier in Cafe who has to jump away, getting a little bit of space for his team, but they don't really capitalize on it. They're playing a little bit more conservatively. They're playing a little bit further back. They're just trying to take their time, and they actually do end up finding Artist. Laz going to be able to take it. Does get trailed out by Jay. Jay actually finds Patty Patty as well. Both soldiers on froyotech going down, and High Five and Artist being dead as well. One projectile alive for each team. Jay dying, now Dingo. It's just Zilly alive now. I think Zilly has retreated to a safe enough position where they're not going to get chased.
He is getting chased, though. I don't know if the chase will be successful. It looks like Artist is trapping up the dungeon area. Banny is on the hot pursuit, but it's not enough. Zilly stays alive. Breathe a sigh of relief for all of you Balls Land team fans out there. It's even Ubers. Froyo is not coming out of the gates with an instant round win, but they do have a fairly convincing win on that mid. I believe we saw Patty kind of just jump over and immediately take down Artist on that mid. That has to get tightened up. You can't have your Artist, your lock and load demo man getting taken down so early on these mids. That has to be tightened up. Here we're going to see Froyo trying to spam the gun down, or at least spam something down through top right.
Yeah, and I'm sure, as everyone here knows, you can't really afford to lose your demo on a last hold. Your demo's going to be the one locking pretty much every door down, especially the ones that are on their side, preventing entry, making sure that things can, you know, run smoothly on your hold. And if you lose that, you lose a very crucial part to your defense, and it becomes incredibly easy to push in. One demo pick is equivalent to like 2 player picks, realistically speaking, just because of the defensive capabilities of a demo man. And I think we're about to see maybe some kind of pressure or maybe some kind of sat get ripped from Froyo. They waited a very, very long time to do it. It does look like Soldier going to be speed shotting through. It's Patty in, not going to be able to find anything, does get taken down by Jay. And now High Five going down. Branson going to be able to find a Bandy, going to be able to find Dingo here as well. The gun has not yet been taken down, but as I say that, Habib's pipes will land and take it down. Uber gets used from the froyotech side. They're looking to take this round in a quick fashion. Sentry goes down, half cap here. It's going to be probably a scout pick for Froyo. Yes, it'll be Laz finding Slumnesh. Now Artist and Habib finding Jay and Zilly to wrap up the round. That is a quick win. Froyotech is done playing games. 3 minutes and a round is already on the board.
Yeah, Banny apparently does not want to let this one get away. That was a convincing Froyotech win on that Sunshine. That mid was, I would remind everyone, was pretty close, but that last was so methodical. I would be terrified if I was a Balls Land fan, because that means if Froyo gets an ad, they're going to convert it. So Ball Land can just never give any ads to Froyo.
And obviously, you know, you can't avoid some situations. You know, sometimes you just get screwed over by timing. And I think Balls Land team, they have to play perfectly if they want a chance to make things happen. They have to, you know, do their absolute best to refrain from making these tiny mistakes. But right off the bat, we're going to have Jay dying to Habib. Habib is going to be going deep. He will die to, I believe that's Dingo, who also takes down Laz. 5 players down for the side of Balls Land team. And Froyotech up. Oh! Branslam gets in onto Zilly as well.
Yeah, and we have Froyotech trying to go into the midpoints and last. Oh, those are the respawners. Yeah, so they are coalescing on that midpoint after taking those players down. Froyo gonna have full ad as well as the midpoint capped. They also have to deal with Slemnish on Sniper, who's gonna be trying to do whatever he can to stifle this push, drop the medic. I don't think he's going to be peeking into the second point, though. He's just going to be stuck on last, just waiting patiently for the other team to push in.
Slemnish is up on the Sniper here, trying to find a pick, I assume. Looks away from lower as that Uber comes in, immediately swaps off to heavy. The gun takes a little bit to get taken down. That's the Froyo Uber depleted, but wait a minute, there's a soldier pinching in from behind. I'm not sure who the soldier is. Laz gets levitated, taken down by that Buddha. Slemnish goes down. Now it's Patty. Jay gonna find that kill. Nice bomb. Hubita goes down. High Five gonna find 2 on that last. Balls Land team manages to hang on for dear life and fight their way out of second, preventing another almost 3. Actually, that would have been a 2-minute round win, I think.
Yeah, that would have been a really quick round win, but, you know, Ball Land team held it down. Not only did they held it down, they got full ad now, so they're going to be able to push into second with this ad. Panny doing the classic, of course, putting that gun up in some random spot. Nothing wrong with that strat, but I don't know if that gun's been spotted yet. It would be absolutely hilarious if it killed someone. It did not. one frag up at least, so I think we're probably going to see a ball land team kind of stabilize here. I don't think Froyo's going to push out. They have it heavy, but, you know, Banny, he can call whatever he wants sometimes.
Yeah, and I mean, Banny is up on the spy here. I don't know. He's going to be committing for it. Okay, interesting. Unless he's going in deep to get some info, but I doubt it. He has disguised. Seems like he's going to be committing for it, moving over toward the choke. Probably going to try and wrap them through their valley once his team gets good pressure. D-Cloak comes through. He's waddling his way forward. They're not turning around. He gets the snap on the scout. Mr. President, get down! Jay saves Silly. Vanny isn't able to get the pick, and froyotech has to back away.
Well, Froyo, they do have 3 frags. They didn't get the medic, but I don't think Froyo, unfortunately, if you're a ball land team fan, lost in that exchange. They did manage to get off of last, and it looks like they're going to be trying to push into second. But yeah, really lucky that Jay managed to block that stab. Froyo taking it in through alley so aggressively. Grand Slam gets the force off, and it looks like that Habib is actually getting dived on in alley, but Jay missing some shots uncharacteristically is going to allow Habib to live for so long, and now this fight is going to re-happen on the midpoint as Patty goes behind, finds low health players, almost takes them down, misses a couple rockets though as Jay chases the medic, takes down Habib. This has been a chaotic fight, but it looks like it's going to be basically even for both teams at the end of it. High Five hitting a great rocket there. Will he turn it into an advantage situation? Oh no, he cratered.
You know, we didn't see that. That didn't happen. That, as far as we know, that's not real. Unfortunately, High Five will crater there. I mean, he had the right idea. He hit a nice rocket right at the beginning. He just couldn't land the second one, couldn't land the splash that was necessary, and ended up paying the price for it. But nonetheless, the Balls land team will be able to set themselves up on mid. Ubers are almost perfectly even. A little bit further behind now is Balls team. They weren't able to build for a moment, but they're just kind of setting themselves up, waiting for them to get Uber, I suppose, so they can rip a sack sometime soon.
Yeah, they are going to be trying to rip a sack, as you said, but I don't know what that's going to entail, if it's a 2-man sack or something else, some sort of single sack. Looks like Uber's finally now getting evened out. I want to see... If my favorite sack is the speed shot through Cafe, and then you like send a scout through Valley or through choke side. I don't think we're going to see that here. Looks like we're going to go for maybe some sort of exchange as Zilly tries to slowly work the way through along with Slemnish and Jay, but I don't know. They backed out. Maybe they didn't like what they saw.
Yeah, I'm thinking they probably didn't like what they saw there. They're trying to maybe find a better opportunity for a push, and I'm sure they can find one given enough time, but what they really need to do is set themselves up with the ability to get some pressure in. They need to send in a sack. They need to try and get Habib to either drop or use. And right now we're seeing a little bit of, stagnation. They're stalemating. And now, I guess as I say that, they start making their way through. High Five is into Dungeon. I don't know if he's been spotted yet. There's someone else behind that I think maybe drawing eyes. Patty gets the kill. He's in on Laz. Will get a kill. Will get saved by Zilly as they use in. froyotech uses as well. It's going to be Bandy able to find Slemnish and, gets taken down by Jay. Can't land the final pistol shot that's necessary. It's going to be Artist going down now. Habib dying as well. Zilly living here is going to be very important for Ball's team. They may lose this mid, but they took down Habib, and if they can build this out properly, they can have a crazy ad, and they can dry fight the mid, number one, and they can move into second with Uber, potentially not having to use, and they'll have it for last.
Yeah, they will have it for last, which is everyone's dream whenever you have an advantage. It's to take it to the conversion. But here, it's Froyo throwing it back in their face. Dingo down. Grand Slam stands tall along with Banny to defend this. They will not be able to take this second point for free. It's going to be defended very successfully by Froyo. But now, now they have to do it again with the other team having Uber. Dingo will not be here during this Uber, so that's going to make it really hard for Ball Land team. They're sending it in, though. Demo jumping over, shooting stickies into the shutter. Uber has been popped as Banny tries to clear these stickies, and it looks like Froyo, I think they want to fight it. I mean, they're posturing up in lobby so aggressively. but I seriously think they're going to push. Somehow they found the frag on high 5. Froyo, I don't understand how they're able to do this, but they're just able to push out of last. Oh, they have ad, that's how. Apparently, I don't know how to read the HUD. And we have scouts going behind for Ball Land Team. Oh, Habara goes down. Ball Land Team, they just destroyed Froyo, trying to push out of last.
Yeah, froyotech just bit the curb there. I don't know how else to say this. The froyotech has lost a lot of their players, a lot of their combat. It's just Banny and Laz alive. No medic. Banny 12 HP, Laz 42 HP. Laz goes down. Banny goes down. Balls Land Team evens to score. 18:45 left in the map. It's 1-1 in a tied series. This is literally the most. This is the game that has been anyone's game the entire time, every map.
It's been 4-3 with like multiple overtimes on Viaduct, 2-3 on Metalworks with 15 minutes of overtime, and now 1-1. It doesn't get closer, it just doesn't.
It's just so much back and forth.
Exactly, and now we have Artist actually hitting a lock and load across the map. Oh, he might kill. Laz just got destroyed across the map by Artist. That is the player to watch on Ball Land Team. But guess what? Froyo's doing a great job defending, but it's trading down frags back and forth. Habara's still alive. It's going to mean Froyo has ad, but Ball Land Team is not out of it yet. They will be standing with the mid-capped.
Yeah, Ball's Land Team will be coming out of this with the point cap, I do believe. They're not going to be able to secure forward. Well, they will be able to secure forwards for their players. They can take the resub, but I don't think any of them are going to take it with just how close the players on Froyo are. High 5 bombs in, gets a little bit of damage onto Habib, but now backs away, playing by his choke, opting to play his life as opposed to trying to get their way in there and make something crazy happen. They just want to relax for a moment and make sure they can coordinate with their team, especially especially because they are at disad. But I can't really tell. I think they're playing a little close for this amount of disad.
Yeah, we got Jay on Sniper and forwards, though. Can he make the magic happen? I don't think he's been spotted yet, which is crazy, but he did take a shot and miss it, unfortunately. On the other side of things, I don't really know what's going on. I'm going to go look over there. It looks like Froyo has cleaned most of it up, and Jay's just going to have to backspawn, unfortunately. But you know, that bought so much time that the Uber situation is now even. It's now equalized. So Ball Land Team is in a really great spot to not lose a round at least. Froyo, though, has a chance to put up the pressure cooker and take a round. Jay takes down Patty. Brandslam goes down. Ball Land Team, it's now their chance to counter-sack out of last.
Yeah, Ball's Land Team has a golden opportunity here to rip a sack, especially while Froyo was down players. No matter what they do, they still come out with a player advantage. One player has spawned for Froyotech. Brandslam is now spawning, so their window is pretty much gone. But I see why they haven't ripped it. They have Jay up on Sniper, trying to find a pick, but they can't find anything in a good amount of time, so they're going to have to peel away, and Jay will actually end up coming NG. It is a little late in this hold, I think, to come up NG, but maybe they can make something out of it. Froyo is a little bit slow in their decision making here. I'm not sure if they want to push, if they're trying to pressure, or what they're trying to do here. Looks like they're taking a lot of space towards the left side of lobby here, and now they're just rotating back and forth between them. They've spotted the gun very early on, which is going to be beneficial for their soldiers. They can coordinate some kind of spam there, or maybe try and send in an off-class feed if they feel necessary. 15:34 left in the map before infinite overtime kicks in, and it's up to Froyotech to make a decision. Oh my goodness, Artist with double pipe on Banny.
Yeah, I mean, I said it, if anyone was going to do it with the lock, it was going to be Artist, and guess what? This is how you win. When you're defending, you just don't let the other team get anything. And then when you're on offense, you take those rounds. And Artist is showing how it's done, taking down Banny, buying so much time for his team and the defense. And look at this, Froyo trying to make it happen, but now Brandslam's down. It's like Froyo is like accidentally sending one-man staggered sacks. And that is just how you kill the clock on accident.
Yeah, this is just... Yeah, I don't think you could really put yourself in a more unfortunate situation if you're Froyotech here. You're down that player, your sack attempts aren't working, you can't find your way in, and you're just trying over and over again. You can't get the gun down, you're not really getting any spam in on it. You're just kind of throwing things at the wall and hoping they stick. Your demo's not really getting any good, damage that is able to be followed up on. It's just very difficult right now for Froyo to make things happen, and we have a pause happening right now.
In chat, we see tech, so I'm assuming it's a tech pause, not a technical pause. Hopefully everything's okay. Hopefully it's just some minor issue. Now, for those who don't know, teams get a limited amount of pauses unless they're tech pauses. In this case, it's probably such that the teams actually can't talk when it's a technical pause. So that is one of the rules and how you can like avoid abusing a technical pause in place of a tactical one.
And the teams are not allowed to communicate with one another. They're not allowed to talk about the current state of the game. They are not allowed to discuss the current, or they're not allowed to discuss what they'd like to do given the current state or anything of that sort. If it is a tech pause, it's just to prevent, using your tech pause as a tac pause and, cheating the system in a way. So.
And fortunately, we are on LAN, so this is actually enforceable. The rules technically apply online, but, online, how can you enforce this? But on LAN, of course we can. So it's one of the cool things about being on LAN. It's super serious format, and we can do things like this. For the game, though, I've been super happy with it. 1-1, it's just like, as I think Eki said, it was as close as it can be, and it's kind of retained that. We do see the unpause happening here. Situation is even Uber's. Banny's team, froyotech, trying to do a sack. Jay gets one frag with the Frontier of Justice crits. Not something I don't think we've seen this entire day of LAN, but we finally see it happen. We do see High Five trying to counter sack somewhere. Dingo as well has to leave. Slemish goes down, so it's 2 down now for the defenders.
Yeah, there are 2 players down for Ball's team. They do still have Uber, so there is a chance they can play around the incoming Froyo push as they move in. Gun takes a little bit to get taken down, but they're going to be able to lock down the spawn door on the right side, which is really what matters. It forces Ball's team to fight in a tight area. That's going to be Patty finding Jay. High Five goes down as well. Artist now dying. Everybody's very weak on Ball's team. There's just nothing they can do. It's just a scout and Zilly alive, and he's not able to stand on top of the point. Didn't think to stand on it, and Habib drops a C9 in the chat. A little bit of BM between the 2 teams here. 40 seconds left in that round as well.
Yeah, definitely some BM. Like you said, teams getting heated up. Neither of these teams want to get pushed out. Well, you don't get eliminated, but losing in this kind of puts you in the lower set of the stage, and no one wants that to happen to them. This mid, we see Habib shooting stickies over. Mid starting off slow. Actually very aggressive for Ball Land team, taking over this cafe side of the other team. Trades going back and forth as Habib gets sent into the air like a rag doll. Laz takes down Dingo in the valley. But guess what? Look at your screen. Froyo got obliterated. Hubada's down. Zilly's alive. I think we're going to see Ball Land team with full ad for last because they're going to take second point for free.
Yeah, Ball's LAN team with an explosive mid there really showed their skill in converting that to a cap, and they're also going to be able to move in and take second for free. They're going to have Uber ad for last as well. This is about the most mid to last scenario that this team could ask for, save for a full Froyo wipe, leave one and go type deal. That is going to be a trade in Valley. Patty trading out with High Five. Banny is up on Sniper, probably going to, or probably moving to swap now as the rest of Ball's LAN team moves into lobby. Uber gets popped. They're pushing in on to the left side. Gun has not yet been taken down, but it's only a level 1 and it's in a bad spot. A lot of push from froyotech pushing out. Jay is very weak. Slemish is very weak. A lot of the players on Ball's team are very, very weak. Slemish is dead. High Five is low. Dingo was low. Their health is actually getting restored. Patty is dead. A lot of Habib is very weak on Froyo, but the health getting restored. It's just a failed Uber push. There's nothing that Ball's LAN team can do here, and they're going to have to pull away. It's 11:29 on the match clock.
Yeah, Habada with full ad. Actually, oh my god, what a bomb by High Five and Dingo. Full ad, no more. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything for Froyo's chances. Maybe I cursed them, but they did get 2 soldiers for that force. Not the worst situation. They do delay the spawns with that cap, so now they can just push in off those soldier picks, which is exactly what we see them doing. Laz jumping forward, doing so much damage to the other team's scouts. Habib taking down Jay with what an Iron Bomber shot there. So Froyo might be able to keep it up, but then you look over at the Ubers and realize Ball's LAN team has Uber, so gonna have to slow your roll if you're a Froyo fan, and Ball Land team, they have to pick a door to start working.
Yeah, Ball's land team needs to pick a door, but they're actually going to opt to bomb through Valley here. Some good damage from Artist going onto that scout in Cafe, but they're not going to mop up any kills with it. Slumnish only able to find Ransom, and I don't even think they were in the Uber. I think that was a separate fight outside of it, if I'm not mistaken. So Ball's land team uses their Uber to get the point and nothing else, and froyotech has a golden opportunity to push in and take a lot of space, get a lot of, just get a lot of space, really. They can capture mid almost for free here if they play it right. They probably won't have to use. They're going to have to milk a whole bunch, I think, but I think they can make it happen. Laz bombing forward towards Cafe, trying to clear it. A lot of action going on in the Valley, though. There is back cap pressure happening. Every player on Froyo turns back for it. That's going to be Slumnish trading out with Laz there. Banny has to mop up the kill onto Slumnish. High Five is behind as well, and will get taken down by Brandslam. So that is Ball's land team down 3, well, now down 2, with froyotech having the player advantage.
Yeah, Froyo does have player advantage as the Uber gets popped. Jay running forward, but Dingo going down. I mean, that's horrible. You do not want your pocket soldier to go down during that. Jay staying in, trying to buy time for the team, but guess what? Jay is staying alive. I don't know how this is possible. Froyo is not winning this fight. Jay is finding everything. He finds 2. He might even find Hubada. He's trying to pistol down Habib. High Five is chasing Hubada, finds that frag. Froyo, they had it was a 6v4. It was a 6v4 for Froyo, but somehow Jay just makes it happen. I don't know how.
I guess Jay is just that guy, is able to bend any situation to his will. So, such is life, I suppose. Such is life when you are Jay. It does look like Ball's land team going to be pushing forward here. They find 3 very early on. Brandslam, Laz, and Patty. Now Bandy going down. It's just Habib and Hubada. Hubada takes a lot of damage, and that's going to be Ball's land team tying up the score. Once more, it's 2-2. It's a call and response game. Ball's team calls, Froyo responds, and then it just repeats itself over and over. Froyo called, and now it's a Balls team response. I'm wondering how these next couple rounds are going to go.
That's exactly what's on my mind. I think I agree with the observer. Artist is the person to watch. This is the man who's going to make it happen or not. We will see as Artist actually gets stuffed very hard in Valley. This is not a good start for the Ball land team. Maybe just one arrow, though, to right their ship, right their way. As we see Froyo sending their soldiers onto the bell tower, and Artist actually doing like 1,000,000 damage to Habib from across the map. I don't even know how that's possible. Dingo goes down first, though, to the Lugermorth, and Artist hitting a great pipe onto Brandslam. What a shot. That was the reason why Jay was able to find that frag, and hey, I think that kind of was the final domino for that mid-win.
Yeah, I think Ball's land team has really stepped it up a notch here. They're looking to try and get into second. They don't want to use if they don't have to, and they want to try and get as much space as possible. But with current Ubers right now and players from Froyo now making their way into 2, it's going to have to either devolve into an exchange or Ball's team backs out and runs a sack. They have Slemnish in behind. I believe they had High Five in behind as well. Dinko's going to be able to find Laz. It's actually going to be Hubada, and I believe that's Brandslam down in lower trying to take that fight, and they are going to be successful. They do find Slemnish down in dungeon, but they lose 3 for it. They maintain their Uber, so they will have it for last, but this just isn't the greatest situation to be in if you're froyotech.
Yeah,
I've seen worse.
Yeah, but you know, Ball's land team, they really sent it straight in, down 2 now. Basically a 2-man sack, not the worst thing, like you said. Froyo pushing out of dungeon, though, pop immediately. This Froyo Uber, it's not bad, but the Ball land team Uber is better. Gonna have to see if Froyo can get the rest of their team in, and it looks like they're able. I'm worried. I'm a Ball land fan, and Zilly is down. They got destroyed on this push. Froyo, that's how you push out of last, and they just demonstrated it here.
Yeah, this is not looking great for Ball's team here. They tried to maintain control, but they just couldn't. Zilly got bombed, tried to pull out the head and get a kill, but just got insta-gibbed. And unfortunately for Ball's team, they're going to have to back away here. They're going to have to try and, pick up the scraps and make do with what they have. They're down about 50 Uber here, so what Froyo does is really going to shape the outcome of this round. Will it be another situation where Froyo calls and we have to wait for Balls to pick up the phone and leave some kind of response for them?
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to be what happens, but hey, Froyo has ads, so this is going to be the call if I use your analogy, as Froyo Ubers straight in. Habib finding so much ground, doing so much damage, but surprisingly only high five was the frag to be found. Brand Slam down as well, gives a really good chance for Balls Land team to re-push back through Valley as they have everyone in here. Slemnish is going to rotate around to choke, and Artist, apparently the call has been made for everyone to rotate back around. I guess they don't like what they see. They probably press tab and see that 2 other players are down, so I guess it makes sense to not want to push in that case. However, as these players spawn, I expect the Uber ad push to happen. This time it looks like the door of choice is Cafe. We do see stickies around the door that have gotten dead. Uber popped as Artist jumps over, trying to find what he can, but it looks like there was a wrap on the other side of the map. The fight on mid has turned into a fight on second as Brand Slam goes down, Laz goes down. Froyo, they went for the wrap, but they got punished because they're down 3 and they only got 1 for it.
Yeah, froyotech, not the most bountiful wrap I have seen. I think, you know, maybe that could have gone a little bit better for them, but that's actually going to be Vanny coming out of Cafe with that Uber popped onto him, leading the charge with Habib here. They're looking to take down as many players as possible. They find Artist early on, and that's all they're going to get with it. So it's a pop for 1 kill. They might get some damage on 2, but realistically speaking, you're just helping Balls team build their Uber quicker. But they're going to keep committing to the push. They want to keep moving on forward. A little console jump scare for you. They're going to keep moving on forward. They want to try and pressure as hard as possible, and they're actually going to be successful in taking second. Jay is already up on Engineer. They're committed to defending this last. They're not going to try and give anything. It is 4 minutes and 6 seconds left in the map timer until infinite overtime kicks in.
Yeah.
So at any point here, we could see the round limit get reduced to 3 and have another 3-2 game.
Perfect explanation. We could see that happen. We could also see a 5-4 game if these teams just, you know, decide that's what's going to happen. But we do have even Ubers. Jay on Engineer puts the gun up. Apparently the gun spot of choice is on the right of the pillar. It doesn't really cover the left side, but you know, I'm sure these people know what they're doing. They are far better players than most TF2 players, that is for sure, on both of these teams. We see Artist trapping up the top left side, trying to prevent Banny's team from spamming in. Brand Slam and Patty test the gun, get punished, go down. Is Ball Land team going to do something? It looks like they have a soldier jumping in behind, or at least trying to fight in Valley. High five does go down on that attempt. It's a good attempt, but it doesn't find anything.
Yeah, High Five did the right thing there. Move in when you have that player advantage, try and get a sack. Unfortunately, his spawn timer is out of this world. That man is watching the respawn clock for longer than the universe has existed. That's just how it is when you get taken down in a sack, I suppose. We do have Brand Slam up on the sniper, looking to maybe try and find a pick, peeking in from the left. There is a lot of spam coming their way. He's picking the same door as his demo, so naturally he's going to eat a lot of the same damage. Hits 150, or I believe just 100 on that scout. Patty dies very early on to Dingo as well. So that forces Brand Slam to pull out of lobby. This forces froyotech to be a little bit more passive, be a little bit more conservative with their positioning, and just try to wait for Patty to spawn up. Maybe they run a soldier off class, who knows?
I agree with everything you just said. That sniper is going to be really annoying to deal with, and you know, counter sniping is never really a preferred choice, because if you counter snipe and you go down, I mean, it's just a free pick. So it's kind of a risk you don't want to take, especially when you can be so safe and just like trap around the corner. You know, this top left door, you can see through that little mesh, but you can't shoot through it. So there's strategies of dealing with the sniper that are less risky than counter sniping, which is what we're seeing. Jay on the frontier of justice has some crits saved up, gonna try to pull those out and just body shot someone as Brand Slam lands a headshot on one of these players, not able to take them down, slowly inching their way around the corner, sees the gun, decides to shoot the gun, but just goes down to High Five. So, you know, Froyo, they only have so much time. If their play is to like just let Brand Slam on his own Piika corner, we got to go back to the ESCA settings for that to work.
Yeah, yeah. You just have to go back to the ancient era for that to work. And I know there's some people probably upset that I referred to the ESCA era as ancient. One of our producers hits me with the "I cannot believe you said that." my other producer is giving me the death glare. So I've uttered a forbidden word, but the Super's going to get ripped out by froyotech. Habib finds the sentry very early on. It's about a minute left on the clock. Ticks down under the 60 seconds, 57 to go until infinite overtime kicks in. Froyo moved in, got the Uber, and they're going to go for the refight here. I'm thinking they're going to go in and try and get as close to a wipe as possible. Laz go down very early though. Jay takes him down. Patty goes down as well. It's going to be Slebnish dying. The Pudis is no more, but there's 3 players down for froyotech, and there's really only so much they can do. It's going to be Habib caught out, can't escape in time. He's not fast enough. Jay pushing in, trying to wrap around this player. Banny's trying to go for it. Gets met by high five though, and that will be Ball's land team making their way onto second. The round win limit will be reduced in only 19 seconds. This is going to be another 3-2 game, but to whom that win goes to is up in the air.
Yeah, but I mean, Froyo just dropped 3 players, so I mean, the momentum is not on Froyo's side. 4 players, excuse me, 5 players, make it 5. Oh wait, no, not 5. I guess the Uber got popped off, so Banny, I don't know why he's trying to run into the entire enemy team. I don't think that usually works out well, but Banny's a better player than me, and guess what? He took down Artist and is going to be backcapping, so clearly Banny knows how to play the game better than I do, because this play is buying so much time for his team, and it's going to be kind of letting his team stabilize on second, or at least find frags into the second point.
Yeah, Banny drew eyes very, very well, and he manages, well, I was about to say he manages to live. I don't want to speak too soon. 20 or so HP, manages to link up with the beam here. Actually, that was Brand Slam I was watching, who was in behind and almost got caught out on 28 HP, but nonetheless, he does manage to find the proper packs. Brand Slam does finally get taken down by High Five, but they have to pull High Five back so far, and with Dingo dead as well. If froyotech was maybe a little bit quicker, a little bit more confident, pushing down with this scout and, you know, wanting to take more of a risk there, but I understand why they're not doing it. You know, it's 2-2, it's Banny time. You need to have that round win secured. You can't be taking unnecessary risks like that. And the Uber, it's going to be Ball's team pushing into mid with full ad.
Yeah, it's hard to push in when the other team just has an Uber around the corner. Like you said, Jay does take down Laz. High Five is behind, trying to cut off Banny, but High Five, it looks like, oh, Habib piped himself with the Iron Bomber. That's no demo. So Froyo has Uber ad, but it's a little, it's a decision to make if you want to push without your demo. Froyo, it looks like they don't want to push until their demo spawns, and it looks like Ball Land team is comfortable pushing against Froyo without Uber because of this frag situation. Banny, though, getting a bit aggressive, going into Valley, letting the other team know what's up. It's time to push this door. They're just walking in through Valley, and actually Froyo managed to milk it in, which is kind of the worst case scenario for Ball Land team, because now they have to sack. But guess what? High Five, single soldier sack. He hits it every time. He makes it work. That's exactly what Ball Land team needs to stay in this and to leapfrog back with their ad.
Yeah, Ball's Land team has the opportunity to maybe turn this round around and get themselves the win. Ball's Land team could perform a rather large upset here if they play it properly. They've got Uber. froyotech is planning to leave through Cafe. As long as they don't rip it, and oh, they're ripping it. Maybe they can find some picks though. Nice bomb from Artist. Does take down Habib with some help. Actually, I think Habib took himself out. That's going to be a nice bomb onto Patty from, High Five with the nice jump and the air shot to Boo. That is a lot of players down for the side of froyotech. 3 players, 2 different respawn waves there. I believe Habib came up just a couple seconds ago, but we're still waiting on Brand Slam and Patty. As I say that, they come up. The Ball's Land team is looking to push in. They need to try and find Hubada, if at all possible, given that they are now at 50 disad, and they're not able to. Uber gets popped very early, though, already pretty much over, and they only find High Five in it. They managed to maintain control of their second point, but they're going to have to set up there. Banny dies very early on as well in this post-fight, and this could be Ball's Land team finding their way into second without even having to use their Uber.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want to see if you're a Ball Land team fan. Patty tried to stuff the door, admirable attempt, but unfortunately there were 2 scouts, 185. What are you going to do? You're down. And guess what? Full ad. This is the chance to convert it. This is the chance to knock Banny down into the lower section. Jay, Ubered on point, clearing these stickies, is capping it up. So much cap time in. Yeah, so many frags
The
as well.
Pudis is getting focused down. The Pudis is down. It's 2 down for Froyo. Habib has spawned, I believe. He's getting whittled down, though. Ball's land team has a very advantageous position here. They're up players. They have a lot of damage on their side. Dingo gets the beam. It's 1 player alive. froyotech gets knocked into the lower bracket by Ball's land team. In a 2-3 one-round game, Ball's land team performs the largest upset of the bracket so far.
I don't even think it's the largest bracket so far. I think it's the largest upset in like 3 years. I mean, that's really cool to see live right there. For everyone who stayed up to watch this, that was worthwhile.
Oh yeah, 100%. You know, I was getting fatigued, I was getting a little tired, but that right there, seeing that masterclass of performance, not even just from Ball's team, but from both teams, was phenomenal. Yeah. And you know, I'm glad I thugged it out. We don't have a lot of time to sit here and talk about the game, so I do want to.
Our producers might kill us.
Yeah, our producers might kill us, but I do want to plug our sponsors real quick. Manco Store, a great marketplace to buy cheap TF2 items. Like I said earlier, friend got me my original from there, if I am not or my strange original from there, if I am not mistaken. And shout out to Physgun server hosting. I have my own Physgun server. Nice UI, ease of access, very simple to set up. Everything you need is right there. Configs, maps, files, everything you need is able to be downloaded from the website straight into your server. Easy setup, easiest thing I have ever dealt with in my entire life. But for the sake of efficiency, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. This will end the Fireside LAN broadcast for day 1, but come back tomorrow to see the second day of playoffs, and Monday to see the finals.